All right, ready to rock. Today we're going to be working on some cool fire potions. They make fire in a fun, theatrical way. They're sort of like illusion potions, I guess you could say. And I guess I should probably put the world in winter mode. Let's see. Actually, there's something else I wanted to do as well. So here's the first of winter anywhere start settings. And there's a bunch of things that shouldn't show up in winter. And I'm going to need to fix them. I'll BRB 1 second. All right, so here we're in winter. Hey, actually, this seems to work. All the clovers went away. I thought that we had an issue with the clover. What did I say? But it seems to be fine. So I think I must have put some kind of activator on them. But this is actually looking pretty cool. Oh man, I shudder to think we're gonna have to put another texture to get this treehouse getting snow on it. But that's not what we're doing right now. Right now we're doing the fire potions. So I should just start with the fire potions in my inventory. But first we just have to get the particle effect that I have in mind. So, hello enemy VTOL. This is what Jacqueline has drawn for the concept. And basically it's just a potion you pour on the ground and then it will draw some kind of cool shape. And my idea is that we basically will have a ball that shoots sparks and has a line tracer on it, something like that, or maybe like a fire particle. And this will all be happening in world space, and then we'll animate the ball. So that's my big bright idea. I think it's going to work. I think it's going to look cool. So let me start by creating a empty object, and I'll just put it at the top here. And we'll call this like a fire potion FX. And I just want to put it on the ground here. I'll just align it to the camera. God, the game is so laggy. There's just so much stuff in the scene view all the time. So the whole world is in the scene view. I'll zero out the rotations, and we'll make a new object within this called something to some kind of particle. So let's look. Should be somewhere. Come on. Is it a 3D object? No. It's effects. Particle system. That's what I want. Perfect. Start with our particle system. Hello, Lubrical. Doing pretty good. Not too bad. Okay, and then, yeah, this will be the thing that we animate. So we need to start with a fireball. Probably, yeah, and we're gonna want like a line tracer on it. So I think we literally want to start with a ball. Trying to think. Should it just be a sphere? No, because in order to make a line tracer, it's going to have to do like a bunch of copies of it. So we don't actually want a sphere mesh for this. We do just want a billboard. So first thing, let's get the actual ball going. So we'll start with the ball. Today we are making this illusion magic, this fire potion that the player can use at the winter festival, and it will make this cool little, there'll be a couple different ones that will make cool little designs. So we want, we just want 1. We're going to have 0, and then we want the count to be 1, and it's going to shoot at time 0 at an interval of 0, I think. Oh, okay. This hopefully will just make it shoot at the very beginning, and then we come out with a start speed of 0, and the lifetime will be like, let's see, just trying to think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a little bit longer. Maybe we can do like a 6-second duration, and we'll start just with like the full 6-second lifetime. Hey, DB Robs. Would love to hear opinion on the Steam changes with the popular upcoming tab now different. I mean, I barely know anything about it other than I saw a Reddit post about it. And I saw a couple random games posting that they got like 1,000 wish lists today. One in particular seemed to say that they were getting it from the personal upcoming games calendar. But I looked at 2 of the games. I guess the 2 games that I saw that got a lot of wish lists today, and they seem to be very unremarkable. I was a bit surprised that they got so many wish lists in one day. So I don't really know exactly what's going on with that, but I don't really know anything about it. I saw someone complaining that now it's harder to get into the popular upcoming. But I actually posted on that on Reddit. I just know that the Valve never does anything unless they think it will sell more games. So the only thing that could be bad for maybe lower level indies is if Valve has decided that they would prefer not to show as many sort of lower tier games in like the 5 to 10K wish list range or something, and they would prefer to show the higher tier games, that they would sell more games doing that. I don't think that is what they've done. It sounds like they're just making the store a little bit more targeted, which I'm sure they have data that shows that that's good. And if they don't, then I'm sure that they will start collecting data now and revert it if it doesn't end up helping, because that's just kind of how Valve's very data oriented in the changes that they make. So I would doubt it would be bad. Looper Cal says, I saw the Reddit post. Did they put lower wishlisted games further up? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know exactly what they did. Seems redundant to put Black Flag and AAA games on popular upcoming. Yeah, but there's a huge difference between Black Flag and I assume you mean like an Assassin's Creed coming out and a game with 50,000 wish lists, for instance. An Assassin's Creed doesn't have 50,000 wish lists. An Assassin's Creed has like millions of wish lists. So for someone to come and say that it's harder to get into popular upcoming, there's a lot of games in that upper middle class. So it's not true that a game with 50,000 wish lists is a game that everyone has heard of. In fact, a game with 50,000 wish lists is a game that almost nobody has heard of. So I don't really know how they balanced it. But a game with, like, let's say 5,000 wish list is a very, like, sort of low, I guess, low tier game. So I guess I'm not really interested with how they push that stuff around. Let's see. We need some kind of fireball. Maybe I'll make a new material. Go models, materials, create. Let's do like we'll do fire potion, fireball. Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, a game with 5,000 wish lists might not necessarily be slop either. Slop is really, really low level. I mean, they've sort of already weeded out a lot of the slop on Steam. But I wouldn't trust that one. There was just the one Reddit post I saw that of the person who said now it's harder for games with 3 to 10,000 wish lists. I don't know if they know anything. They didn't seem like they were really very data oriented about anything. I haven't even personally read Valve's post about it, so I really know nothing either about it. I'll probably have to read that at some point, but I also don't. I mean, I'm curious, but at the same time, we're shipping soon, so I try to do nothing but work on the game at the moment. But I really trust Valve. I really do. I mean, they have done really well by us, and every change they've ever made seems to make sense to me. We've got an additive ambient surf and an additive ambient surf particle. Let's go with additive ambient surf particle, and then let's get a dot or circle. Circle. Okay, and now let's see the ball. This is interesting. Why can't I see mask? Let's see. White. That doesn't seem to do anything either. Ambient factor, let's go like 0.5. Use displacement, that's why. That's why it's not showing up. Okay, there we go. Now we got our ball. Very nice. And it's a very bright ball, so I'll make it middle gray. And now we can, let's start by just making a fiery looking one. Let's get that fire. I will check like a waving fire. Just want to see. Okay, like a fire trail. Fire trail. Okay, here we go. So it seems like it gets pretty light yellow at the head, and then gets like more and more saturated red as we go on. So I think I'll go with that. And I'll make this radius really small. And then I want to, well, let's see what this looks like from camera view. Pretty big. So let's make the size of the particle a bit smaller. It's right behind the tree right now. I'm just going to move the fire effects. It would probably make sense. It's kind of distracting right now because we have so much garbage. Let's maybe put it, let's go up into the farm. Then we'll have just a more snowy background to look at this. And then let's put the player up by it. Okay, so I can barely see that ball. That's perfect. There we go. Lupercal asks about the camera. Is it orthographic? How did you decide which to use? Our camera has perspective, but so the tighter your field of view, the less perspective there is. So a camera with a very, very, very tight field of view, which is to say a camera that is very, very, very far away, will have very little perspective. You know, the effects of vanishing will be subdued, if that makes sense. I don't know if you've ever, if you have any like photography background, but since we have a very tight field of view, we have very little perspective, but we do have a little, and we like that. For one, if you have a truly orthographic camera, many shaders and particles and all kinds of things will break on you because most shaders are not designed with an orthographic camera in mind. So there's that area of risk. But also, I just think it looks kind of cool when we have buildings that reach into the very close foreground and the players walking. I just think it looks nice. So that's why we have a very small amount of perspective. If we had a lot of perspective, then the projections would give themselves away. So all of the tricks we do of the projected proxified buildings and all of our billboards and everything and our flat characters, all of these things would start to look more obvious if you had more perspective, which might be what you want. A game like Don't Starve is wearing its pop-up-ness on its sleeve. It's not trying to not look pop-up. It actually really wants to look pop-up. It wants to look like a bunch of little like puppets in construction paper. So, you know, the relatively large amount of perspective works well for that game. But in our case, we don't really want that. We want it to look like one big illustration. We don't necessarily want it to feel pop-up. So that's why we just went with a very slight amount of perspective. Let me see what that was. Where do I keep putting my phone? One moment. All right. Yeah, you know, and if none of your stuff is breaking with orthographic, then that's not even something to consider. But I've seen stuff break from a truly orthographic camera. And I would say the bigger concern for us was I just like the look of a little bit of perspective. You know, what's kind of bugging me is this the Valve news. I feel like now that people are talking about it and stuff, I feel like I should read from the source's mouth here. So let me find the let me find this. Actually, read it one moment here. Let's see this post. I think it's this one. A refreshed Steam store page. So we'll read this together for anyone who cares about this stuff. Today we are excited to announce the release of the refreshed Steam store page. Thank you to everyone who opted into the Steam client beta and provided feedback during the beta period. I didn't hear about that, or at least I didn't read anything about that. The updated design is a continuation of recent improvements across the Steam store, like the game page updates we made a few months ago. Read on for details of the update. Overall design refresh. Over the years, we've introduced new sections and added more ways for you to discover and learn about games. And this update aims to make the store home feel more cohesive. Each section has a distinct set of tools and information to give us to give users many ways to explore the diverse catalog of games on Steam. A goal of this visual refresh is to strike a balance between providing more consistency in UI elements while allowing the unique nature of each section to show through. That's really interesting. So they did it to make the UI more consistent. Interesting. Okay. Featured and recommended. All right. There is now more detailed information highlighting the reason a game is being recommended to you. Okay, that's interesting. Plus a user review roundup. I don't know if I like that. When hovering over a game's cover art, the game's micro trailer will play for a quick peek at the action. We also added a sneak peek of the adjacent games in the carousel. Okay, new wishlist and DLC sections. We've brought back 2 sections that you may have seen during our big seasonal sales permanently. Games currently on sale from your wishlist and recommended DLCs. This I really, really, really like. I like that a lot. That's really nice. It just will show you, you know, when game as a user of Steam, I like that. When a game is on sale and you have it wishlisted, it should just show up on your front page. And it sounds like that is what's going to happen now. Games from your wish list. That's great. That's a great section. Yes, absolutely. I will share this link. Hello, by the way, Warka101. So, okay, for anyone who has come into, I see a few more viewers now. Valve made a big announcement. I believe it was today. And everyone is talking about, at least everyone on r/GameDev is talking about it. And I don't know, it doesn't seem like, some people seem to have some reactionary sort of knee-jerk reactions to it. And I just wanted to actually look at the news myself. Good to see you, Warka101. Okay, new personalized calendar. So this is the big thing. You can now find a personalized calendar right on the home page, giving you a quick way to see new and upcoming games recommended based on what you play. Page through to see new and exciting games that are coming out in the next 2 weeks. View your calendar to look even further out. You can see recommended new. So, I mean, this is awesome. This is really cool because and it looks like things that are on your personal calendar aren't necessarily things that are just wish listed. These are things that are in genres that Steam thinks you like based on the stuff that you play. This is great. I don't know why some folks would be, some indies were upset about this on Reddit because if they did up the threshold to get into popular upcoming, but they give us this, I mean, come on, if you're a small game, your best shot is to, you know, have Steam try to show you to very specific audiences, because you're obviously not going to cut it against the deluge of, you know, other developers with $1 million+ productions. So this seems to me to be really, really cool. And we've already seen a couple games get 1,000 wish lists in a day from being on this list. I'm curious how Steam organizes this if you actually have to announce a public release date to be in this list. I'm going to find out soon. I might just have to go to my own Steam to see it. Because your personal calendar, is this my, okay, so this is Eastshade Studios' personal calendar. So Valve knows almost nothing about this gamer, Eastshade Studios, because I do not play games on this account. So Valve pretty much only knows that this player, Eastshade Studios, plays a lot of Songs of Glimmerwick, like thousands of hours of Songs of Glimmerwick. So this will be interesting to see what's showing up. And I'm interested to see if actually Songs of Glimmerwick shows up. It probably won't because I already own it. But I would like... One moment, folks. I would like to be in here. It's showing me Forza. So it's clearly not that specific. I can't imagine why Forza would be in there. I do play a lot of Forza, but not on Steam. And I don't play it by my own choice. I play it by my son's choice. He's almost 3, and he really likes Forza. Well, he really likes cars in general. So this is just really cool. I like this a lot. So it does seem to be games that have already announced a hard release date, and that means it's probably a good idea to make sure that you have a hard, because if this is going to be a big traffic source for people, which it seems like it would be, then it seems like it really incentivizes you to really decide on a release date and make it public. Okay, let me go back to reading the thing now that we perused into that. Cyber FBI says, do you like the new interface on Steam? I have not even opened Steam since these changes, so I don't know. Okay, so the personalized calendar seems really cool. Updated discovery queue, a quicker way to browse titles in your discovery queue without leaving the home page. Okay, so they're just embedding the discovery queue in the home page. Keep scrolling for more recommendations. We refreshed the design to bring this part of the store home in line visually and functionally with the rest of the sections. This includes a micro trailer and screenshot preview display. Additionally, you can now click a screenshot to expand it. Okay, well, that's interesting too. I mean, all of these things have little implications. Like, suddenly I feel like if screenshots are easier to expand without even opening the game, you know, you might want to think about that when you make screenshots. I don't know, like you could have more UI in your screenshots and stuff, knowing that people can expand it. Popular, upcoming, now more popular. Okay, this is the big controversial thing. The content, it's not controversial, just one person posted on Reddit, so we'll see. Tourmaline, hello. Seen a couple of these changes on Steam already. Yeah, I think so. The contents of this tab have been updated in response to player feedback in order to better capture the most anticipated releases of the coming month. If you're looking for more niche upcoming releases, check out your personal calendar. Okay, so, I mean, how can you... It's really... The fact that someone would say that this is bad is... I mean... It sounds like people are just asking for it. So if people are asking for it, and I get it. Like if you click on a button, this is popular upcoming. Do you want to see a title with 7,000 wish lists? Because that's not popular. That's not a popular title. That's a really, really niche title. So maybe they just really want to see the big games. I don't know. Attention to details. We've also shipped lots of upgrades to the details of what makes up the home page. Here are a few of the bigger changes. New motion sensitivity, store preferences. Okay, improved gamepad navigation. Okay, improved capsule hover, high resolution game art. Okay. Well, that seems like all good stuff to me. That seems great. This game looks cool. I like the capsule. What is it? Is it a city builder? Interesting. Very pretty. Very nice. I like the UI too. Very slick looking UI. Okay, well that's it. We covered the the Valve update. It seems great. Oh yes, that game did look very Italian, didn't it? Hello, by the way, Christopan. Yeah, it seems really good, and potentially we'll see what happens. My wish lists have already gone up. Like I had 300 wish list ads. I don't know when they push this change, and it could be completely unrelated, but kind of curious that I had 300 wish list ads. Although we also did get another thread in the Witchbrook subreddit, so that tends to drive a lot of wish lists when somebody talks about Songs of Glimmerwick in the Witchbrook subreddit. Okay, let's continue on with this thing. So the ball needs a it needs a line tracer, whatever it's called, trails. That's what it needs. And unfortunately, I think this will only work if this is like, so if we do scaled, I don't know how to make these things simulate in world space instead of local space. Oh, here we go, world space. Okay, I'm not seeing anything. Stretch. There we go. All right. Very nice. Not sure why. I want them to like scale out. So here's stretch. Let's try tile. Size affects width. Let's not do that. Okay, let's size affects width. Size affects lifetime. Really, I want lifetime to affect size. So the lifetime is 1. Color over lifetime. And I want a size over lifetime. But let's do a gradient. So the gradient here is going to be like, yeah, we'll go with white. And then it gets increasingly like orange here. Okay, that is just not working. I wonder. Okay, so it seems like I think I get it. It seems like this trail is just happening right when the particle itself starts. It's not happening based on movement or anything. So I think we'll turn off die with particle. The lifetime, let me do that to like 0.5. I would love it to scale down. Yeah. I don't know how to do this. Simulation space will be world. Oh, okay. If we do that, then we're going to have problems because our ball is not going to follow. Maybe I'm going about this the wrong way. Maybe what I want to be doing is not doing a trail. Maybe what I want to be doing is spawning lots of balls. So let me turn this thing off and make a rate over time of like 5. And then I will make it world space. And then what can happen to the balls is actually, instead of a rate over time, we can do rate over distance. And then as the balls age, they will get redder and smaller. So let's do color over lifetime. And you'll start white and you'll go all the way to this very orange color. And I guess the lifetime now should be much smaller. 1 maybe? There we go. Now they're starting to turn red. Can go even. I wonder why they disappear before they've even had a chance to get to this deep sort of dark red. Well, they should be very yellow right here. I know that. There, that looks like fire. And they should turn yellow quite quickly, I reckon. And then move on to red. And yeah, we're starting to get there. I wish I could maybe not show the mesh. That would be helpful. Lupercal says, I really like the new changes personally. They would help my game out massively in multiple ways. Release with discount and wishlisters see it automatically. Personal calendar is great too. Yeah, I think it's good. Okay, so the other thing we want is a size over lifetime. And we simply want it to get scale into nothingness. And pretty much linear. Yeah, there we go. So that's pretty much what we want. Why it's not getting into that deep red, I don't know. It might have something to do with the shader. I could turn down the really the ambient factor should probably be 0 because it should be just as bright at night. It should look even brighter at night. And it's on blend. And the start color is already quite yellow. I wonder if maybe if we continue to turn down the color here, make it darker, that will help. I'm going to put the scene view onto the side and just watch it through the game view. Yeah, it does not have the richness I need from it. It really needs to get more red than that. I don't know why it's not. Turn it way down and I'll saturate the bejesus out of it with yellow. Okay, so that seemed to help it turn to a darker red. Still just very light. I'll move the yellow up and I'll move the red up. Not that that's going to do anything. It seems like even at, okay, it's starting to get more red, but it's like I can barely see it. I can barely see it on the snow. I don't know how to make it stronger. Maybe if I did more, I doubt that this will work, but. No, that's not working. It's just so, it's hardly visible. Maybe there's some sort of, let's try ambient. There's an additive. Oh yeah, we've got an additive shader. Why don't we go for a blend shader? Let's see what a blend shader will do for us. Blend, there's a blend surface. Okay, so now it's completely black, which might be better for us. So now let's start from a place of a white. Okay, it's definitely darker now, but now it's never really turning white or yellow. Let's turn off the random color intensity. Let's turn off the wetness. I don't think we should have to do selection glow. It's so bright. It's really weird. Okay, let's go back to our. Oh yeah, okay. Well, that makes sense. Now let's color the whole. There we go. That's the fire look. Okay, that's what we need. Cool. And now it's really working the way we want it to. So we can really move this red back. Keep it white for longer. That's what we want. That looks like fire, guys. That looks really cool. That's awesome. And I'm looking at it over here in the game view. Yeah, that's definitely going to work. That's going to look cool. Okay, and that's just the starting point I wanted. Now I can even probably make this orange a little bit lighter. Excellent. Now I know I'm getting really an honest look. Okay, great. Looper Kyle says, do you ever worry about game blindness from playing your own games so much? Yeah, I guess we do kind of worry about that a little bit. But Both Jack and I are very hard on our games. So like before Eastshade came out, I did not think it was, I wasn't like that thrilled with it, but people really liked it. And before Leaving Lindau came out, I really thought it was going to be very unremarkable. I really wasn't proud of Leaving Lindau. I didn't think it was a good game. I don't even necessarily know if Leaving Lindau is a game that I would want to play. So Leaving Lindau did not meet my standard, but it did okay, and people kind of liked it. It had got like over 70. I think it even got over 70 Metacritic, and on Steam, I think it has over 80%. So people liked it, and I guess I just sort of didn't really. I know that the world of Eastshade is cool. I mean, I'm proud of that. And since Leaving Lindau took place in the world of Eastshade, people were impressed with the world, and so people like the game. And I tend to underestimate that a little bit. But with Glimmerwick, I thought, even a couple years in, the first time I played Glimmerwick, I thought it was good. I like legitimately thought I was like actually having fun playing it. And I was actually like really engaged, and I was just really sucked into the game in a way that I never was with Eastshade. And so I thought it was going to be good. And Jacqueline she's had play tests where she was like, I don't think it's very good. And then she's had play tests where she's like, well, I thought it was really good that time. I had a lot of fun. Jacqueline is an even harder judge than I am. She's very, very hard on our work. If Jacqueline says that, like, if she's like, yeah, I think that'll work, that means it's like the best effing thing in the entire world. Like that means we absolutely like obliterated it. It's never failed me. Whenever she thinks that something is like pretty good, that usually means that it's absolutely amazing. And she likes Glimmerwick and she likes playing it. And then of course, when we put out the closed beta, we got insane feedback. People were like playing the game multiple times, which we've never seen that. We've never put out a closed beta and had people play it multiple times. That's just crazy. People were playing it like back to back. The median play time for the Glimmerwick demo beta before we made it public was literally longer than the entire demo should have been. It was like 2 hours and 50 minutes or something. It doesn't even take 2 hours and 50 minutes to play it. So that's how many people were playing it twice, and just spending so much time in it. And then, of course, now that we've gone public with the demo, I feel like, you know, if we just finish it to the standard that we've already made the demo, then I think people will like it, because we already have a median rating of 9 out of 10 based on our feedback forms. So yeah, getting feedback is important. This is what I'm trying to say. Getting feedback is important. People from beyond just yourself. Tourmaline says, was going to suggest... Oh, whoops, I lost my spot. Wait, where was I? Oh, if Unity had something like Photoshop blend modes. Oh, yes. Koi Koopa says, how many hours your game is playable? We have about 30 hours. Lupercal says, I like to imagine if I bought my own game with no knowledge of it, I would enjoy it. Understand it. Is there anything I'd wish was included, like quality of life? That's a good way to do it. Yeah. Yeah, it can be hard to judge your own work. I mean, clearly, some people really struggle with it because there are so many games on Steam that nobody really wants to buy, and I don't think that the people who made the game would want to buy it either. Now, that in itself is not anything, because it's not necessarily true that the people who made the game even think that it was a great game. For instance, I did not think Leaving Lindau was that great of a game. But there are so many people like on r/GameDev who are asking, like, why didn't my game sell? And they just don't see it. They just are not able to look at their game objectively. So it should be very concerning, I think. I mean, it should be really at the forefront of your mind. And you should always be trying to gauge it objectively. And there's various ways to do that. Oh, Isto has a really great video on this. It's called something about an iceberg. Let me link to it. Oh, it's just a banger. It's a really good video. Let me pull it up. Isto's a YouTuber. This will be very useful. But for anyone who's jumping in and doesn't know what I'm talking about right now, who was it? Was it Lupercal? Lupercal asked about basically judging your own game, and if you ever feel like you can't judge your own game because you're too close to it. Shut up, dude. I'm trying to figure out how to mute this. Okay. I'm trying to get to skip the ad so that I can actually see if this is the right video. Yeah, this is. This video is really, really good. And it really talks about this very well. If you want to sort of gauge excitement for your own game, this video is all about trying to do that as early as possible. Like before you even put up a Steam page, this video has some tricks for trying to gauge excitement, at least about the pitch for the game, the core idea of the game. He talks about making PowerPoint presentations, and he talks about making multiple of them and then showing it to a group and basically trying to gauge the emotional response of the people you're showing the presentation to and how excited they get about the different ideas. But there's all sorts of stuff about his journey to get there and different ways to gauge the game. GG Domino says, playtesting is super important, including in order to avoid the IKEA effect where people tend to overvalue things they made. Oh, yeah, it's really hard. I mean, I like to put screenshots, like even at the beginning of Glimmerwick, I would put Glimmerwick screenshots in folders with other games I thought looked amazing. And I would flick through the images and I would just try to like see if my peepers were like, you know, had a good immediate response to when one of my screenshots popped up or one of Glimmerwick's screenshots popped up. I want to know visually that the game really like pops out. I've tried to make games just to match the current trends, but I don't enjoy making them, so I give up. Gotcha. What? Current trends, though. Oh, man, I was thinking about this the other day. I think that the word trends is maybe a bit misguided. Like I was wondering if what we think of as trends of what sells on Steam are actually not trends, but just fundamental human desires. Like, because a lot of the genres that are popular on Steam have been popular for as long as computer games have been a thing. And I just wonder if they're actually trends or if they are just literally what fundamentally human beings want to play on like a biological level. If like there's something about, for instance, simulation games that is just more desirable to more people of the human species, rather than like, oh, simulation games are hot right now. Like people like simulation games, not story games. I wonder if that's actually it's not that they're hot right now. It's just that fundamentally people are more interested in playing with a toy that is a simulation than, you know, consuming a story, I guess. Megabonk. Okay, I like the friend swap thing. That thing does seem to be new, but it's also possible it's here to stay. It's also possible that multiplayer co-op games, it's not necessarily that they're a trend, but rather that it's just something that is emerging that is going to stay. Like for instance, battle royale shooters are like, they've been here for a long time now, and I don't know if they're ever going to go away. That's fair. Yeah, I would never want to work on a game that didn't excite me, so. I'm going to try to make some like fire come out of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a fire. It can't be a flipbook fire. It has to be a particle fire. So I'll get fire T prefab. And let's get one of these. Got a couple different fires. Let's just make sure we're getting the This one looks like the flipbook fire. Let's see. Yeah, this is a flipbook fire. I want to get the particle fire. So let's get fire 2. Are you a particle fire? I can't even see it. I literally can't even see it. Yeah, it is a particle fire. Okay, cool. So I'm going to unpack this prefab. And then I'm going to put the wildfire inside the ball. And then I'm going to delete everything else. All we want is the wildfire. And then I'm going to put that at 0, 0, 0. I don't know if it's already simulating in world space or local space. Looks like local space. So what I'm going to do is the start speed is going to be 0. So the fire is just going to kind of all collect at one spot. Is this velocity over lifetime? I'm just going to leave it all at one spot. And then I'm going to change the simulation space to world. And we're going to have to probably increase. What I could do is I could change the rate over time to 0 and the rate over distance to 10. Oh, we're cooking. We are so cooking. We're so cooking. It's not even funny. Okay, let's take a look at the render for this. Huh, really? We're using the standard unlit. That's surprising to me. I wonder if we should maybe try a different one. Let's call this one like fire potion. Fire potion fire. Eastshade was a battle royale and was a massive flop. Oh, okay, different Northbound. Yeah. Oh, yes. The barrier to entry on those games is really, really high for sure. And plus, since they're usually games as service, yeah, they're like a live thing. But that doesn't really mean anything when we look at really big games and they come out and they are really big, but they're not really big, then we call it a flop. And that's a really big trap that I think a lot of indies fall into when sizing up the world. They'll like look at a game that made $20 million on launch and they'll say that was a flop. Because the publisher called it a flop, but the publisher only called it a flop because they spent $100 million on it and then another $100 million marketing it or whatever. So we need to be a little bit careful of that. Okay. Yeah, so I want to get a different fire potion. Fire. Oh, that looks awesome. Oh, cool. This is great. Let's see if I can get a different shader on this. So we've got blend surface. Let's try the wildfire and let's do a blend surface shader on this as well. Surface. And then I'm gonna turn off the random color intensity and definitely turn off the wetness. Looks like it's going to, let's see, blend. I want to make sure it doesn't, here, blend surface, no ambient. We definitely need to use that one. And I want to make sure to use the other, on the other shader, we want to use the blend surface, no ambient as well. Blend surface, no ambient, okay. There we go. Unfortunately, we need an alpha for this because it's expecting an add shader. So we're gonna have to do it with an additive shader. No two ways about it. So let's go additive ambient surf particle. And we'll turn the ambient factor to 0, turn off displacements. Unfortunate. I'll give it a little bit more color in there. Just so hard to get an add shader to give you a lot of color. But anyway, let's take a look through the game view because that's really what we're interested in. That's pretty cool. There's some Z fighting in there. Cool. I'm happy with that. I wonder if we should move the fire bit part of this. It's really hard to tell what's even going on. I just wonder if we should move it a little bit forward so that at least it sort of tries to go over the top. So it tries to render in front. Actually, since they're both blend shaders, what I can do is just fudge the draw order. I wish there was a version of this fire that had an alpha channel. You know, that's going to be so much better. Let's just do it. Let's do blend surface, no ambience. And then I'm just going to grab this. You know what I could do? I could do, well, first of all, how big is this texture? Do I care? It's actually 1024. It's fine. Let's just make another version of it. Let's be bad. Yeah, for sure. I think those companies too, they're like, they want all the money. They're not happy with just like some money. They just want all of it. And if they don't get all of it, then they don't want to do it at all. Okay, let me go to this fire with alpha and let me just, oh, look at that. Oh, we can do, this might be kind of fun to do like a photo version. I wonder how weird it will look in Glimmerwick. Let's try it. Let's try to use this. I'm really curious about what this will look like. Of course, it's got a black. This is unfortunate because it's fringing against a black background, and we would want it to not do that. Here, I think what we'll have to do is just sort of get rid of as much of that as possible. Something like that. Okay. Let's see what that looks like. I'm curious. We go a more phototastic direction. And then we do this wildfire, and I'll do the white alpha or the white particle, and then we do fire potion fire, and then we do fire with alpha, and we'll do that white as well. What is this going to look like? Oh yeah. It's just so hard to tell. I guess I'll put the scene view over here. Okay. Let's take the draw order and just fudge it to like 4100. So it's definitely going to draw in front of just about everything. That's pretty fun. It's actually quite cool. The only thing is I don't know if we're going to get away with... Let's try... Let's try doing this version. Sorry, I'm not finishing my sentences, but let's try it with the stylized version. I just want to see how it looks. Get out of here. We're still fringing against the black background, which is annoying. Okay, and now since we won't have any color, so it's definitely going to look a bit different. Oh, but it still works because we're imbuing the color in there. You know what? That I think is going to look, I mean, it might not look necessarily as cool, but I have to remember that we want to be able to do this with other colors, and this is going to work much better now. So this is good. I like this. Let's go to the hierarchy. And I just want to add a little bit of fire color to this. That looks cool. That looks really cool. I like it. I might try to keep everything smaller. So let's put the scene view back over here and make the fire smaller if I can. So the start size, I'm just gonna, maybe I'll look at the size over lifetime, and maybe it just doesn't get quite as big. So it goes all the way up to 2. Maybe it doesn't increase its size quite so much, and maybe it starts at a slightly smaller size as well. So we'll go from 0.6 to 0.7, or maybe even 0.5 to 0.7, something like that. That looks sweet. And now the final touch is the sparks. So we'll call this fire, and then one more thing in here. We'll add another particle. Effects, particle system. This one should be really easy. So for this one, I want, I wonder if we have sparks already. There's a sparkle. We don't want that. We want sparks. And I guess probably we might want little line tracers for the sparks. Yeah, well, maybe we'll go with just a circle. Keep this simple. I can't believe we don't already have a spark texture. It's really crazy. Do we have like a rain? Well, whatever. We'll just do it all again. Spark. We'll call this sparks, and then I'll set this to spark. And I want that spark ambient factor to be 0. And then we're going to need the emission to also be emit over distance. Yep, just like that. And the shape is going to be a sphere. It's fine. It's just going to be very small. Basically, I just want them all coming out of one point. And the start speed is going to be 0. And then we need gravity. So let's usually, I think there's a gravity just right here. Yeah, we can do 1. And it seems like there's some kind of max part. No, I don't know. Okay. And the start size is going to be like 0.2. And what else? Not simulation speed, right? It needs to simulate in world space. World. There we go. We're almost there. And now we just need the line tracers. So let's go with trails. We definitely want the... Okay, yeah. We want the color over lifetime. Well, we'll start with white, and then it will quickly... Yeah, gradients. Then it will quickly turn bright yellow. And then it will quickly turn to the pure like red orange color. I'll delete this last one. Okay, I don't know why they're so big. Stretch, tile. Oh, here we go. We need the spark to be... Oh, wow, look at that. That's kind of cool. The lifetime should just be very much shorter. And I will make them scale in and out of existence. So the size over lifetime will be at its maximum right in the middle here. And then it'll just sort of scale out. I'll make it get up to size really quickly. And maybe it'll hold its size for a little bit, but then it'll scale out of existence. And it looks like I might just want a simple circle. So let's put a circle in there. Yeah, that should be good. Looks like the lifetime should be even shorter, 0.2. Wow, I really can't see anything. Can't see what's going on. Okay, I'll make the lifetime longer, like 0.6. And again, it's never getting to that real dark color that I want it to. I don't know why it's so big. It's like so much bigger than the spark. Or is the spark just that big? The trail should definitely be the same size. Now, got stretch. Let's go with tile. Yeah, it's just not working, and it doesn't look like a circle either, so I don't get it. Size effects width, I'll turn that off. Okay, what is going on? Size effects width, size effects lifetime. I don't think that should matter. Why does the trail look so much bigger? I'll lower the minimum vertex distance. Also, the actual lifetime of the thing shouldn't be very long. And let's see. Start size 0.1. It's just not looking right. I'm not seeing any of the color. Color over tail. That has to be it, right? Copy. Paste. I don't know. I don't know why we're not seeing the color evolve here. I'll try distribute per segments. Frustrating. That's really frustrating. I'm not seeing the circle either. I'm not even seeing. Let me get just a little dot. There, now it's a tiny dot. Surely now it'll work. I can't even see it now because it's so tiny. We'll increase the size significantly. Okay, we're also not getting the stretch or anything. Who We were tiling. Ratio. Let's do 0.1. Is ratio like how many of them actually get? Yeah, let's make sure to do 1. So that means every single one of them should be getting a line tracer. Minimum vertex distance is already so low. Die with particle. Just not working at all. It's just not working. Let me put it on to stretch. Still not working. I'll put it in world space. Size effects lifetime. I don't know. I don't know why the thing isn't working. I'll try ribbon. That doesn't do anything. I'll put like a 0.01 minimum distance. Still not doing anything. And we've got plenty of subdivisions there. Clearly, I can see them. So that's, shouldn't have to have that many subdivisions. I'll increase the lifetime a little bit. Yeah. I'm just seeing some dots. I'm not getting a good line. Well, let's go back to the circle then, at least. And then we'll have to decrease the size. Oh, look at that. Well, I don't really know why it's working now, but we've been through a long journey. Oh my God. Suddenly it's working, so whatever. Okay, we can have more points here. Let's see. Okay. We'll keep it at 0, 0, 0. And now we should see it all together. When we move the ball around, we're getting some sparks. Now I want to see if we can actually see it from the game view. I doubt we're going to be able to. Oh, we do. We're seeing it from the game view. Cool. Awesome. You know, the line tracers don't really look that good, to be honest. Maybe they would look better if we sprayed the sparks out a little bit. So let's try just spraying the sparks out. So we'll go with the start speed will be 1. Okay, that looks pretty cool. And then I'll get the scene view down here. That looks pretty cool. Well, we're really not getting any sort of arch in the sparks. But I want to try to maybe blast them out a little harder. So we've got start speed of 1. Let's try start speed of 1.5. And then I also want just way more of them. I think would look spectacular. Let's do 20. Oh yeah, that is actually starting to look really cool. I don't know if we can get away with doing an additive shader though. Oh, it's blend surface, no amp. Okay, so we don't have an additive shader. That's perfect. That's what we want. Because now I know that even at when the lighting is dark, it's going to work. The tracers are a little bit long. I don't even think they have to be so long. So let me look at the trails for this thing. The lifetime is 0.3. Let's go 0.2. And then try to move it around. That looks pretty sweet, honestly. It actually looks really cool. We might even shoot them out a little harder than this. So we're shooting them out at 1.5. Let's shoot them out at 2. And we'll make more of them still. Put them up to 30. Just make it more spectacular. Okay, we're starting to get the arch now in the sparks. That looks really cool. It's probably hard to see. I'll move it into a darker area. Yeah, it looks awesome. Maybe we don't need quite so many of them. Yeah, it came out even better than I thought it was gonna. Okay, really cool. I'm gonna shorten the lifetime of the trail just a little bit, and I'll reduce the count just a little bit. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Oops. Okay. Perfect. And now let's put that scene mode back in here. And now I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah. We've got to make it stick around a little bit more. Let's go to somewhere where we can see it, because, well, I don't know how much we're going to be able to see it. I know that the Winterfest is definitely a bit darker. Oh, I think I've had my sound off, so if I've gotten any follows, missed them. Okay, didn't get any follows. Very good. So if I took that ball and made it a child of the player and then started running around, we get a good view. Okay, so I can see that the ambient is being affected, and we're not able to see the fire. So we've got some issues. The line tracers are looking really cool. I think people are going to like them. I mean, I think it looks cool. And it won't be moving this quickly, so it'll look better than that. But we got to get our fires back. So let me see what's going on here with the fire potion fire. It says no amb. Maybe I'll just put a little bit of selection glow on it just to make sure. I still don't see it. Fire, I mean, for whatever reason, it's just not showing up. I wonder why. Random color intensity is 0. Selection glow. Let's do selection glow 500. So it's still not showing up. Let's see. Why won't the fire show up? Oh, it has some crazy rotation on it. I don't think that should matter. Oh, it seems to maybe that it does matter. Huh. All right, so then all that's left is the ball. The ball must have, it says no ambient. So let's do selection glow to 1. Okay, well that makes it a little bit brighter. But the fire is still kind of hard to see. Let me decrease the start size of that ball just to let the fire show up a little bit more. Yeah, the fire is tiny. This is definitely going to work though. It's so much easier to see how it looks. So the idea is that it's going to draw like some kind of fun shape, and it should leave its trail lingering so that you can kind of see the shape. So I don't want that fire to go so crazy. It's kind of moving away from its origin a little bit. Oh, here, the radius should be just absolutely tiny. So that helps a little bit. And then the other thing that should help, we've got, yeah, 0 there. Color over lifetime, size over lifetime, that's fine. Sub emitter. I guess we do want it to get a little bit bigger than that. Okay, that's pretty cool. And then we want that line tracer to stick around so we can really see the shape. So for the line tracer, I guess we've got, oh, we don't have a line tracer. We just have the lifetime here. So if we just increase the lifetime, we'll get a longer line. I think people are going to like that. And then we could also increase the rate over distance. And then with the fire, if we make the fire lifetime linger for longer as well, let's say between 3 and 4. Yeah, that's great. It's really cool. I'm trying to draw a heart. I don't know if anybody notices that, but let's see if I can actually draw a heart. We're going to animate it drawing a heart, but yep, we have enough time to draw a heart. We're going to be able to get it for sure. I feel like we might want it to linger even longer. So between like 5 and 7, and then the ball will stick around for 2.5 because we really want it to feel like, you know, it did something cool there. The fire is evolving. Nice. We want lots of different levels of fire. So I think if some of the fire has a very quick lifetime and some of the fire has a very long lifetime, and then we simply have a higher rate. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Very nice. I almost wish that the sparks would keep spewing, but I don't really know how I would do that. I guess the only way I can think of to do that is to make a sub emitter. Oh, actually, yeah, that would work. Okay, we made a ton of changes that we need to redo. All right, this is going to work really well. A raid. Let me turn up my audio so I can hear stuff. Just barely caught that on my screen. Hayla VT, thank you very much for the raid. Appreciate that. Very kind of you. We are working on a video game. This is a game dev stream. The game is called Songs of Glimmerwick. It's a Witch Academy RPG where the magic of the world is music. I just put a link there for if you want to check out our Steam page to see what we're working on. Hey everyone, hello, welcome. And at this exact moment, we're working on an illusion potion that the player can use, and it does this. So basically it draws like this fun shape. In this case, it's a heart, but we're going to make it draw other shapes. So we're just trying to work on the particles for it to do the illusion. This is what we have so far. It's much easier to see in the game view. But I think if we let's make it animate now. Yeah, let's do that. So I'm gonna add a new animation. Actually, I'll I'll kind of redo some of the changes that I'd done before. So I put way more rates, and I made the lifetime much longer. Sticks around for much longer. I think I made the start size smaller. The fire also has some that linger for much longer. And I think I made the fire just a little bit bigger, if I remember. And I made more of them, 25. And now I'm trying to make the sparks. So right now the sparks just fly. I want the sparks to, not only will they fly out as this thing moves, but the sparks will continue spewing out from the fire. And to do that, I think not only do I need it to have the sparks emit by distance, but actually a spark emitter needs to emit by distance. And I think that that'll take care of it. Let me catch up with chat. Halo VT says, I actually played the demo already. Thank you so much for playing the demo. I really appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. And I'm so glad you liked it. Oh, cute, I assume, is good. Hopefully it's good, cute. Not, oh, it was cute, but it sucked. Lucieth, hello. Watched Hayla play the demo, awesome. Also loved eShade. Thank you so much, Lucieth, for playing eShade. Thank you, thank you. And Hayla, thank you for playing eShade. Appreciate that. Appreciate you. Awesome. Okay, so we have to make a sub emitter for, I think we should make one maybe for the fire. So let's look at sub emitters and reference the sparks. And the emit probability is going to be 1, and it inherits nothing. Is that it? Is that all we have to do? No, because it's not making any sparks anymore. So I'm wondering what we've got to do. So is it that we have to put in like a prefab or something? Because we've got a sub emitter. Maybe I'll try it on the ball. I don't think that that's an issue, but just in case, I'll try it on the ball. And we'll put sparks, and it inherits, it should inherit nothing, right? Oh, I know why. No, we didn't do this right. So it's because the sparks are only emitting by rate over distance. They also need their own little emission rate. And I don't see any coming out right now, which is weird. Maybe because we made those sparks a sub emitter. Yeah, there we go. Oh, we're in business. Look at them. Oh, that's freaking sweet. Oh, this is wicked. This is awesome. Oh yeah. So I'm looking through the game view, and if I just move this ball, you can see it's leaving behind the sparks, and then they go away. This is great. So let me make sure that the ball does not have a sub emitter, just the fire has a sub emitter. And now that the fire is using the sparks to emit, we obviously don't need so many of them because we have like a bajillion of them. So let me significantly turn down the rate. So I think rate over distance at this point should be 0, and the rate over time, let's try just making it like 2. And then the lifetime that this thing is emitting for, yeah, it's making a lot of sparks, too many. Let's take down that rate over time to 1. And let's try moving the ball then. That seems a little bit more sane, but they're still emitting for probably a bit longer than they need to be. No, maybe it looks cool. Maybe it's cool to have them emit like that. They seem to all be pulsing. I don't really know why. Is that because they share a max particles with each other? Oh, maybe the fire. Oh, I bet it's because of this 300 limit. Let's take that up to 1,000. Yeah, it's really making a lot. Okay, so let's take down the rate over time even lower to 0.5. And I wonder if there's some way to make, well, let's leave it at 1 and let's see if there's a probability on the sub emitter. So not every single one has, here, emit probability 0.5. That's awesome. The Unity particle system is very robust in my opinion. That seems to work just fine. The only thing now is I want one spark, like immediate sparks. Let's call it first sparks. And that's going to be different. We're going to have emission at 0 and we're going to have a rate of 25 rate over distance. And now I'm hoping we get those initial sparks and those after sparks. It's not working. Let's see why it's not working. Let me catch up with chat. Oh, no worries, Hayla, if you're still around. See you. Thank you so much for the raid. Appreciate it. And thanks for playing our games. Okay, so let me just try to move those first sparks. So it seems like the first spark is not working. And I'm wondering why. We have a rate over distance of 25, but it's not making any sparks. And yeah, it's just kind of weird. If I look at the sub emitters of the fire, it's just sparks. So this one shouldn't have an issue. Let's do restart. Let me do rate over time. It's starting to make sparks now. Okay, now it's making sparks rate over distance. Okay, so in theory now if we move this ball, there we go. Now we've got the initial ones at the start. And we've got the ones that get left behind. So the ones that get left behind, this is the sparks. I'll call it like sparks left behind. Sparkowitz, thank you for the follow. And let's change that rate over time to 0.5. And we'll make more of them get left behind. So the fire, the emit probability, will turn that back up to 1. I almost wonder if we should put, instead of having the sub emitter on the fire. Yeah, let's do no sub emitter on the fire. Let's put the sub emitter on the ball. And that's going to make way more sparks. So let's just do 0.5 and then let's try that. We're barely getting any sparks. Okay, let's do emit probability of 1. Why are we getting so few sparks? Sparks left behind. Yeah, I don't get why this is. You would think you would get way more sparks because there's way more balls being left behind. But we seem to be getting none. And they seem to be coming out at some kind of regular interval, which I don't really understand. Sparks left behind is a rate of 0.5. Let's do a rate of 1. I wish it would randomize the timing here, because they all seem to be starting at different. Maybe if I pre-warm and yeah, there's play on awake. I don't really know. Yeah, they're all shooting off at a very regular sort of way, and I don't really know how to stop that. See, they shoot together. They go joom, joom. And I want them to all shoot a little bit more randomly. How do I stop that? I need to randomize the rates. That's what I need to do. I need to randomize the rate. Okay, so let's go to sparks left behind, and let's get a random between two constants, somewhere between 0.5 and 2. And now they all have slightly different rates. They're still all shooting together. Seems like it's not randomizing per emitter. What about a random rate between like 1 and 5? Is there anything that will stop these all from shooting together? Well, that seemed to do it, but it seems like some of them are barely I don't know. Well, it looks cool, but I don't know if the performance is going to hold up. That's a lot of sparks. Sparks left behind between 1 and 4 maybe. And then maybe we'll do the max particles at 1,000, keep it reasonable. That looks pretty sweet. Okay, let me bring up the stats up. Is it creating a lot of draw calls when we do this? Not really. Okay, and then we will take the sparks left behind and make sure they have a max particles of like, let's say 10. I don't even know if that has any impact. Oh yeah, it seems to. Yeah. Okay, that's definitely doing something. So let's raise that to like 500 because it wasn't enough particles. That looks pretty sweet. Great. All right, I think we're done. Awesome. Now I just need to make an animation, so let's do it. Phew! Yeah, okay. So we'll make the first one a heart just because that's the first one. That Jacqueline did. So let's add a animation to the top here. And then in the animations, I'm going to create a new animation, create animation, and we'll call it like fire potion heart. And I'm going to turn on the debug. It's not going to loop. It's just going to clamp forever. And it's going to be legacy animation. Then I'm going to turn off the debug and we'll put in our one animation. Perfect. It's really hard to see on the white snow, but that's where it's going to play. But it will be a bit darker. But I almost want to go into like, I think I want to put the game in spring just because it's just going to be easier to see. So let me go developer start settings and get the game in spring. I guess I will now make a prefab out of this. So let's prefab FX. I'll put the fire potion FX in there. Okay, and then I'll just run the game and it should turn it to spring. Okay. So now this, oh yeah, it's much easier to see now. And it looks dope. Oh, Jacqueline's going to be really pleased with that. It really captures, I think, the concept. Oh, look. I hate how they all pulse together like that, though. It seems like they're all... I don't know why they all flash together like that. It's very weird how they're all strobing. I gotta figure out why they're strobing. It's bothering the heck out of me. Does it have something to do with the max particles? I'll turn the max particles up to 2000. No, that doesn't seem to be it. Okay, so I'll leave it at 1000. And then we'll go in Sparks Left Behind, and it could just be the lifetime of the tracers. I don't really know. Maybe we could do like a random lifetime. No, it shouldn't be the lifetime of the tracers. It really shouldn't. Unless there's some kind of max trail count. That's the only thing I can think of. Like, why would they be strobing together? And they seem to pick up from where they left off. Let me set the time scale to like 0.1. And I want to see if it's time scale related. So here, I'm not seeing them strobe. I don't know about you guys, but we will start this whole thing over once this all goes away. Looper Cal says, what's a game you are looking forward to coming out? Nothing. I literally have no idea what's coming. I've not been playing games. I've not been looking at games. I don't have time for playing games. I don't have time for anything. I only watch babies and work on this game. That is all I do. Sometimes I go to the store, and sometimes I do something around the house if I absolutely have to. Like, for instance, I have to trim the bush. But I have no idea what's even going on. I've been looking forward to Elder Scrolls 6 for a long time, but that's kind of a long timeline game. So, and I don't really know what it's going to be. If they're going to stick to the kind of Elder Scrolls that I like, which is just a big hand-authored world, or if they're going to try to get cute and do some kind of base building crap. Okay, let's see if we can get the strobe effect. Oh, no, it's not strobing anymore. Well, it kind of is. They all start together and then they all fade out together. And I just want them to be randomly dispersing themselves. And I don't know how to make that happen. Because they all start. I just want them to start at a random point. And you would think that every spark having a random rate over time would solve this problem, but it doesn't seem to. Which is annoying. I do not know what is going on with this. Yeah. We should really have like a yard, someone that would do that for us. But it's almost like getting someone is more work than just doing it. Gosh, I do not know. It's frustrating me so much, though. They all strobe at the same time. Let me do like a max particles of 10,000 and let me try again. Nope, they're still strobing at the same time. Man. I don't know. That's very kind of you, Looper Cal, for Glimmerwick to be the only game you're looking forward to. Do you see yourself taking time off before your next game? I don't know. I don't even think that far ahead. I'm honestly very excited to start working on the next game. Like, I don't feel like I'm done with game dev. I feel like I just want to ship Glimmerwick mostly. But I'm really excited to work on the next game. But I mean, I can't keep this up. So it might be that just going back to a normal work schedule feels like a break for me, because right now I'm just working every single second that I can. And it's stressful. Honestly, I would say the newborn is it's harder work than working on the game. Is definitely more draining to care for the newborn than to work on the game. Well, I don't know what's going to do it. I don't know what's going to stop them all from shooting out at the same time. They all have random rate over times, which tells me that there's no way they actually have random rate over times, because they're all shooting at the exact same time. So whether I have this constant or whether I have a random rate over time doesn't seem to make a difference. What I could try maybe is turning off the sub emitter. And I already did this, but let's try this again and see if this gives us a more random result. Okay, now we're not getting anything. I kind of broke it. Oops, I'm changing the scale, that's why. Yeah, you know, that gives us a way more random result. So for whatever reason, it seems to be a more random result. So, oh no, look, they are all kind of coming out at the same time. But it seems a little bit more steady. So I think I'll roll with that. Okay. Well, the sparks left behind. Before I change too much stuff here, Sparkowitz says, does Unity's particle system have some kind of random timescale kind of setting? So it has a random rate over time, and you would think that that would make them all have different rates and not spew their particle at the same time. But it might be a bug that since I'm using a sub emitter, it might be that that doesn't work with a sub emitter or something like that. I'm not sure, but it doesn't seem to be working. So do the emit probability of like 0.5, and the sparks left behind will have a rate over time, I guess, between 1 and 2. Koyakupa asks, will you use Unity for the next game? We're gonna do a deep dive into Godot after we finish this game. And after we finish our update cycle, and probably spend about a good 3 to 6 months just working on Glimmerwick. But once we move on, we're going to do a deep dive into Godot. We're going to have some fun. We're going to mess around and make some stuff in Godot and see if it is up to snuff. Because Godot looks really fun. It would be fun to be open source. Yeah, Godot is just very exciting. I like potentially not compiling sounds fun. That would be cool. Okay, well, I'm just going to move on to the animation now. It would be cool if we could fix that thing, but you know what? It does look pretty good already, so I'm going to just try to let it be. No, I would never use Unreal. I would never use an engine that wanted a royalty, ever. I don't want to pay my middleware a royalty. Most people have never paid a royalty in their life. They don't know what it's like. And it's very annoying. It's really it's an accounting liability that you will have for the rest of your life, right? Because like once your game makes over $1 million, and I know that people aren't thinking about it. They don't think about the amount of money Unreal takes because they don't. It's like their game making $1 million is a fantasy that is so far outside of. They'll feel like, well, once our game makes $1 million, we've made it. We've ascended to Valhalla. I don't need to worry about anything anymore. But that's not my position as a head of a small studio that we know for a fact our game is going to make over $1 million. And we've already had a game that made over $1 million. And just imagining right now having to pay quarterly royalties to Unreal is just really annoying. I don't want to do that. You would never... I mean, we're never going to stop selling eShade. I would never have... I would be, what, 65 years old and I'm paying royalties to Unreal? Like, that's terrible. That's horrible. I don't like that. Plus, that's a huge amount of money. Unreal is so expensive. What is the cut? Unreal percentage. It's 5%. Okay, after your first million. So yeah, and is it 5%? It's probably of gross. Yep, it's gross revenue. So in the case of, it's gross studio revenue. And is it gross game revenue or is it gross studio revenue? Because if it's gross game revenue, then that's even worse. But it's probably gross studio revenue. So that means it's after platform cut. I'm not 100% certain. Let's see. Is Unreal royalty after platform cut? Before the storefront cut. Oh no. No. Wait, no. Oh, that is disgusting. Okay. That is horrible. So that means it's possible there's a situation where you could owe Unreal $500,000 and your game has never made you a penny, right? Because it's before, like, let's say you spent $10 million making your game, and your game brought in $1 million of revenue. You would be $9 million in the hole, but you would owe Unreal $50,000. Does that make sense? Because Unreal wants gross revenue royalty. So that is really just terrifying. For Eastshade, we'd be looking at minimum, we would be owing them, well, really it would probably be closer to 200,000. We would owe Unreal $200,000. So if we had made Eastshade in Unreal, we would have not been able to finish Glimmerwick. A year ago, we would have run out of money. So that is very serious and horrible. I would never want to pay $200,000 to my middleware. That is just, ugh, no, way too expensive. Never, ever, ever. Sparklewit says, we love independent developers owning their own work and paying it forward by supporting open source. Yeah, it would definitely be exciting. Looper Kyle says, for every million, that's 50K. After Steam Cut would be 35K. Wait. So Unity is more logical than Unreal in case of this situation. No. So, wait. I think there's a misunderstanding here. You said for every million, that's 50K. After Steam Cut would be 35K. No, it would still be, you would owe, are you talking about how much you owe Unreal? Because Unreal, I was just blown away when I learned that Unreal wants gross. So you pay Unreal 50K. Doesn't matter after Steam Cut, you still owe them 50K. Wait, why is the user UAS says it's funny to call the game engine middleware? Why isn't what would you call the game engine? Because when I think of middleware, I think of software that you use to make software, right? The software we're selling is our game, and every tool we use to make our game, I would call middleware. Doramia says, have you checked S and box? Maybe we get more movement in the engine landscape and there's more opportunity. Also, what's your build time on Unity? Our game takes 3.5 minutes to build. Yeah, 50K is diabolical for sure. Well, and also it's possible to owe Unreal money without ever having made money yourself because they want the gross. So if you took home, less money than you spent on your game, yeah, you would be. I mean, not only do they want the gross revenue of your game, but they also want the gross before the platform cut. So that's just so much money. Koi Koopa says, I wanted to ask again if Unity is more logical. Yeah, I mean, we didn't pay $200,000. Like, I don't know how much we paid for Unity, but it's like the price has been going up. But let's see, what was it? Unity. Plus, we had Unity Plus for a while too, because we didn't have to have Pro before we shipped Eastshade because we weren't making a bunch of money. So, well, okay, I know this. I know for our studio of 3 people, Unity is $6,000 a year. So, even after 7 years, that's not even coming close to $200,000. So absolutely, Unreal is an order of magnitude more expensive than Unity for us. Okay, let's do this animation here. So we've got this fire potion heart animation. I'm going to take the ball and let's go into animate mode. Set it to 0. And then it's going to come. So basically the player or the avatar will pour the potion onto the ground. And then that's when this stuff happens. This is weird. Oh, there it goes. Okay. So looping. No, we don't want to pre-warm. Oh, here's auto random seed. I just want to make sure the sparks left behind had auto random seed. Yeah, it did. But it didn't seem to be very random for me. Okay, now let's see if we can make that heart. So let's just draw a heart with the animation. We might have to adjust the timing a little bit. Okay, and then sort of, oops. We'll make the little round bits. I'm gonna have to try to round out the top here. So I'm just gonna push this up a little bit, and as we're approaching that corner, I'm just gonna push it a little wide. There, we've got some kind of heart shape going. And I do want to make sure that the middle, here, this should be the middle. So on the X, we should be at 0 at this point. There, so that's the middle of the heart. So really, we probably want this to be more out to the left. I'm going to move the player. They're kind of in my way right now. Here we go. Looking good. Yeah, that looks pretty good. We might want to put this out to the left a little bit more. And then right here, we might also want to go a little bit more to the left. Look at that. That's perfect. It's great. Okay. Koi Koopa says, does Unity cut after Steam or before Steam? Unity doesn't cut. Unity just takes a flat subscription fee per head. It's just $200 a month per employee of your organization. Lupercal says, so if you spent 10 million on a game and then made a loss, you would still owe them 500K. Yeah, exactly. That's really scary. No CTIS says, as independent developers, it's better to use Unity Engine because it's more logical in terms of how they charge fees. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I mean, I also like, I like Unity. I just like it a lot. Okay, that's actually pretty decent timing. I'm going to slow this all down. Unity is a very nice blank slate. Doesn't make a lot of assumptions about how you build your game. Whereas Unreal is a bit more of a shooter. You know, it has a legacy in being a shooter. Okay, so the only thing is, kind of goes through, this part goes through a little bit fast, so I'm going to give it a little bit more time there. And honestly, that seems pretty good. So now I just want to sort of mirror this exact thing that it did. So I'm just going to totally reverse it. Something like that. Let's see how that looks. Perfect. So that's pretty good. Now we just need to actually reverse the positions. So instead of negative, we want to be positive X. And here, instead of negative, we want to be positive x. And here, instead of negative, we want to be positive x. And here, instead of negative, we want to be positive x. Oh, this is back to 0. Yeah, and then it just goes away. So that's perfect. I'll wait till these go away. All right, let me look through the game view. How does that look? Awesome. That's really cool. The only thing is maybe I want it to be a little bit bigger. I didn't really think about that. I definitely want the whole thing to draw a little bit faster. But I think I also want the whole shape to be a little bit bigger. So in order to make the whole shape a little bit bigger, we're going to have to go to, well, first of all, I think the whole shape could start a little bit lower. So I'm going to do this like, maybe even we'll start it at like 1. And then over here, it needs to go back to 1 to finish this. And then once we start going out to the side here, we want it to go a little bit more. So let's like go negative 1.6. And then we'll do the same thing over here. We'll do 1.6. I don't know how much bigger that's actually going to make it. But when we're making this swoop, yeah, I think I want it to be even bigger. Let's just go ahead and go -2. And then we'll take the other one and make that negative, or make it +2. And as it's rounding out, we want it to go a little bit higher here. Let's go like 4.6. And then it'll do its little bump. And then right here should be 4.6 as well. 4.6. Okay. How's that look? Cool. It's pretty good. Oh yeah, I think we're in business. Let's see what we got. So just wait for the sparks to fade and then awesome. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. The only thing is maybe the heart is, we want it to be a little bit, we want it to be drawn a little bit faster, and then we could probably refine the shape a little bit. Like when it's coming around here, I think we could push this out a little bit wide. And then same thing when it's coming back down here, we'll push it out a little bit wide just to make it a little bit more rounded. That first, for whatever reason, it like really shoots. Like starts. Here, I'll wait for these sparks to fade out. It goes, it really shoots. But maybe it's okay. That's pretty sweet, man. I think that's really cool. Okay. We catch up. Lubrical says, I tried Godot and didn't understand the system as easily as Unity. Gotcha. Uxer says, middleware in my line of work, server microservices, has a much more middling sort of derogatory connotation. Huh. Well, I wouldn't use it that broadly. Oh, I've never heard of middleware as a derogatory connotation. Yeah, to me, middleware just means software that you use to make other software that you sell. So like, yeah, like a game engine or a, you know, some other package that you buy. Maybe some API that you buy or something, some like UI API or something. Kate T Asks what we're doing in the game. We're making this cool illusion fire potion. So there's a potion that you spill it on the ground and then it does this cool fire magic illusion thing. There's just sort of a festive potion you get at a winter festival. Thanks, Louder360. No CTIS says, how can we ensure that the game runs smoothly on multiple devices? Well, you just have to test. Looper Kyle says, looks perfect to me. I don't think it needs to be sped up. Gotcha. Gray Wolf says, try making a trace for it. We've got a bunch of line tracers. That's like kind of how we're doing all the sparks and everything. Yeah, that first little bit, for whatever reason, just looks so fast. Let me move it out a little, and then it's going to be really hard to tell with the curves. Yeah, they're all pretty smooth, so maybe I won't mess with the curves. Okay, let's see. There, that looks a lot more steady to me. The only thing is, like right here, when it's making, if I make the curves right here sharp, that is gonna probably make the heart more convincing. So right here, if I say left tangent free and right tangent, I don't know how to break the tangents. Linear, there we go. So I changed it to linear. I could probably do this one, both tangents to linear. I think that's going to make a much more sharp. Yeah, awesome. Well, that's pretty neat. The only thing is maybe the fire needs to be smaller. Let's look at the fire. And let's look at the start size. I will make it slightly smaller, like between 0.55 and 0.85. Oops, I animated it. Oh dear. Let's turn off animation. It's 0.55 and 0.8. And then I'll apply that. Awesome. I'm very happy with that. Okay, so now in theory, if I run the game, it should just happen. Koyo Koopa says, I thought Unity cuts after 2.5 million, 2.5%. No, they rolled back their little debacle there. They don't take any cut. Oh, that's just absolutely awesome. That's really cool. They had the big Unity scare with Riccatello, where they first had the runtime fee, where they were going to charge per install, which was insane. And then they were going to charge a flat percentage, and there was still a massive stink, and then they rolled that back too. And now they're just flat rate. What game is that, Grey Wool? I think this whole thing should be a little faster still. I just want the whole heart to show up. But I'm really pleased with it so far. So now, in order to actually make, I do want a little puddle that shows up. I don't think we have a puddle in the game. A puddle print. Yeah, let's make a little puddle decal. So I'll just place a 3D object, a plane. Grey Wolf says your game. Oh, Well, thank you. I'm very flattered. Appreciate that. That's always the best news to me. So we'll just do a little puddle. When you pour out the potion, it will start just a little bit above the ground, just to make sure that sort of floating on top of anything. And it will start with 0.01, 0.01, 0.01. And I will apply and what I'll do is the ball will just have a slight delay where it hangs out on the ground just for 1 second while the puddle is growing. So the puddle will grow from 0.01, so I'll put in animate mode and just make sure to key it. So I'll just mess with the scale and then the puddle will grow to some sensible size. It seems quite large, maybe 0.15, 0.15. And then as, oops, 0.15. As the fire is coming out, we'll shrink the puddle. So now it'll go back to 0.01. I'll do even 0.001, 0.001, 0.0. It's like the fire slurped out of the puddle. I think that's cool. But now we actually need a puddle, which we don't have. So I want to do like a glowing puddle. So I will take maybe just the fire material. We'll start from there. And we'll call this fire potion puddle. Fire potion puddle. And then I need a new texture. So we have these, I guess we might be able to use this one. We'll try it. So I want to make sure I'm out of animate mode and we'll do fire potion puddle. Okay, and after this thing has grown, we want this really sort of burning look to the puddle. And I want just the one in the top right here. So I think I need 0.5, 0.5, and then the offset I think should be 0.5. 0.5, yeah, there we go. So there's our puddle on the ground. It's sort of an odd shape. I don't know, maybe we want like a more regular shape. Yeah, I think we want a more regular shape. Let's go for a more regular shaped puddle. I will duplicate this. Hey, Nani. And let's go fire potion puddle. Yeah, lava is kind of what I'm thinking. Let's make sure to disable generate bitmaps. And I just want a really simple shape. Nothing too fancy. So we'll flood fill that with whites. And I'll keep the old one around. I'll just sort of refine I'll turn on smoothing a little bit and just try to refine the edges of this. I don't want it to be too crazy. Something simple like that. Maybe I'll cut into it a little bit. Okay, now it's starting to look... It's funny how hard it is sometimes to make something look random. I almost think it should be slightly more circular. I'll try to make it slightly more circular. Just like a little bit more regular, because she poured it from one point, so it really probably would be pretty close to circular. I don't think we'd have all this all that irregularity in the shape. I'll keep it quite regular here. There we go. Now we're talking. I think that's a pretty reasonable puddle shape. Okay, I do want some of that fade though. So I will make this a bit gray and maybe even more gray. And then I will duplicate it and I will blur it. And then the blur will be pure white. I'll even scale down the blur a little bit. Yeah. And then I'll delete the stuff behind it. And I think I'm gonna make a purely white line, just like we had on the other puddle. I think that looked good. I think this blur should be even smaller. And then we'll blur it again. There. And now I'll do this little line that is like pretty close to the edge of the puddle. I don't know what's going on over here. I don't think we need that. Oops. Oh no, it's actually pretty hard to get an exact match, so let's... Yeah. Okay, there. Now I'll do the white line over the top. Do it a little bit inset. And I won't have it perfectly match the shape. There. It might, maybe should be a little bit closer to the edge. Yeah, I think that looks good. Okay, I'll save that. Why can't, oh, because it's probably read only. Okay, let me make sure I have it. Fire potion puddle. Wait a minute. Yeah, save. It's fire potion puddle. Oh, it's because I copied a PNG, that's why. Okay, let me delete this one. Cancel. Let me delete this one. Grey Wool says, next time you might try starting the puddle from a fully circular shape. Yeah, that might work. Maybe that would have helped. Yeah, we probably struggled a little bit more than necessary there. Anyway, we got the job done. Oops. Fire puddle potion. Okay, yeah, that looks good. Oh yeah, that already looks kind of magma-ish, so that's perfect. Awesome. So if I play this animation, I think we could even have the puddle scale out a little bit more slowly. And it should probably be even smaller to start with. Oops. I don't want to be animating right now. I just want it to say 0.001, 0.001, 0.001. Okay, now I will animate, and we want to start from 0.001, 0.001, 0.001. Okay. So we pour, and we might have to do a pouring animation too for the player, but let's check it out. This is why art-heavy games are scary. I like it. I like making pretty stuff. Oh, that's sick. That is absolutely awesome. Oh, I'm really happy with that. Okay, we need to do sound. And I guess I think I'll just animate the volume of an audio source. All right, I'm glad you like it. Hey, Nanani. Let's add a audio source, play on awake. We will loop it, and it will go into effects. And the clip should be some kind of fire. We've got a million like fire casting loop, I think. That's really the one we want. But we want it to be louder, so I'm going to force it to mono, which will enable us. Oops. Let's revert that. I probably want to duplicate it because I don't know who's using that firecast loop. I'm going to duplicate it and maybe call it like fire spell or like fire potion cast sounds. Thank you, Lupercal. I'm glad you like it. I mean, it came out really good. It doesn't always come out that good, but well, we had the good concept, and then I had a good idea of how to tackle it. Hey, Nani says, day 5 billion of waiting for more cute emotes. If only I had time for emotes. So when we force this to mono, it's going to let us normalize it, and it's going to let it be way louder. And I don't particularly care if it's mono or stereo. It's a single source. So most sound effects really should be mono. So the audio source here will be fire potion cast sounds. And what I want to do is I guess we should make the pouring sound. Maybe we'll make the pouring sound in the interact animation. We'll call this fire potion burn sound. Fireworks screen. Oh yes, the actual art wouldn't be too bad, but just I don't even know how to do that. I'd have to go figure out how to do that. Like I don't know where to upload it, and got to format it. You know, it's really small too, so it wouldn't just work if we had just the hearts. But you're right. I mean, I probably should do it. I just put absolutely no time into the Twitch stream. It's weird because I'm not a Twitch streamer. Like I don't know how to use Twitch. I don't really watch Twitch that much. Occasionally I'll go check something out. I don't know how anything works. I don't put any time into our Twitch page. I don't have a streaming schedule. I'm not trying to really get viewers. I don't maximize for viewers. I don't worry about getting viewers. The same thing kind of with YouTube. I don't try to get as many YouTube viewers as possible. It's really just all about our games. So Kate says, crazy how even before launch you can tell how much love is poured into Glimmerwick. Thank you. Appreciate that. All right. I'm glad you're digging the streams. Yeah. I'm glad I see that sometimes people are like, they like to see the streams because they feel like the game is being worked on, which is interesting to me. I guess I can see how, seeing and hearing nothing from the developer might make you wonder, if the game's actually being worked on. Right? It's not really an angle I thought about. Like, I don't stream to like show people that we're working on the game. I actually stream because sometimes it helps me focus. Sometimes it's more fun to stream than to work alone. I'm going to turn the volume down to 0 by default. And then I want to apply this prefab. And then set into animate mode. And then right as the particle effect is coming up, that's when we're going to animate the volume. And we're going to animate the volume to go up to like 0.5. And I have no idea how loud that's going to be. We'll do like, yeah, I'll do 0.5. I think it's going to be fairly loud. And then probably right here is where it should fade back out to 0. And what else? I should turn off animate mode, and it's going to be a perfectly 3D sound. It should have the spread to 180, and it should also be linear. I hate the Doppler, and the min distance should be 5, so it's like perfectly loud. Max distance can be like 20. And then I will apply that prefab. Lupercal says, was it difficult to know where to place bushes and trees to look natural? Yeah, I mean, this is really a very important skill, and it's very artful, and I think it's more important. A lot of people don't think of game art this way, but in my opinion, the placement of the bush is more important than the bush. So I'm glad you asked that. But yes, the whole like dress, we call it like mapping or like placing the props. The placing the props is more important than the props. I really believe that. Many people think that if you have a bunch of pretty assets, then you have a pretty game. I do not believe that. I believe in the big read. So the thing that makes the game pretty is the painting, if you will, right? The composition, the things on screen, where you put them and the density of them and how many of them, and also simply the things you choose to represent. So what you actually have assets for is more important than the assets themselves. So like, the fact that we have a fallen tree trunk with moss on it, that's a detail we chose to represent. That's more important than the actual quality of the asset in terms of like how well it's illustrated, or if it was modeled, then how well it was modeled. This area, this is the player farm, which looks really bad when you first start, as many player farms do, because they're full of, junk that you're supposed to get rid of. Not beautiful stuff, because then you wouldn't want to get rid of it. Nanani says, I love Twitch. Being able to watch it work is great. I'm glad to hear it. All right. Thank you for referring people to our Twitch channel. I appreciate that. I really do. And I really enjoy having you here, Nanani. So thank you. Grey Will says, I think it's really cool that we think 2D games are actually 3D, even the games that are made with pixel arts. Oh, what we think of 2D games are actually 3D. Yeah, a lot of people do use the 3D. It's just easier. 3D solves a lot of problems. It handles the sorting for you, so it's very nice. Nalani says it feels like a privilege because if you look at how many people have the game wish listed versus how many people come to stream, it's an exclusive little club. It is. It's very exclusive. Yeah, it's not many people come for this. I mean, it's a very niche thing. So no, but the privilege is mine. That's for sure. ESO Glockta, thank you very much for the follow. And Lucieth, I appreciate that, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Hollow Knight is built in 3D. That doesn't surprise me. Awesome, Lord Matri. Yeah, I feel the same thing. Sometimes I'll watch like a dev log on YouTube or something, and I'll just kind of watch it for vibes to get, you know, a little bit inspired. One has to be a little bit careful. You know, you don't want to watch too much stuff, take away time from your work. But sometimes just a little watch, or sometimes just putting a Twitch stream on while you're working yourself can be fun. Co-working. Yeah, exactly. Nani. I don't know about personable. Sometimes I fear that I can be an asshole on the internet. I feel like everyone feels a little bit more assholey on the internet. I try. I try. Okay, so let's give it a whirl and see how this sounds. I'm gonna make sure to unmute the audio. It's gonna turn on really quick here. Awesome. That's great. So it seems like we really need to have the sound stick around for a long time because it draws it really quick and the sparks fly for a while. So I want to keep the sound around for a long time. Or we could have a second audio source playing a second sound that maybe takes longer for the sound to fade out. That would probably be for the best because that initial spark maker obviously should be a much heavier sound. So let's go for that. Fire potion burn sound. I'll call it burn sound 2, and we will put a different fire sound in there. I wonder if there's there's a fire loop. There's fire spell, fire cast loop. Let's take a look at fire cast loop 1. I really want a more crackly one like fire loop 2. That one's really perfect. Let's just use that one, cast loop 2. And then we can even pitch shift it up a tiny bit, and that will give it sort of a different character. And now we can set the volume. Oh, the volume's already set to 0. I will apply. And then we will animate. So right here, we want to set that volume to 0. And then right here, we want to set that volume to 1. And then here, we want it to keep going. So the volume will stay 1 right here. And we want it to stay around for at least another full second or more even, because it seems like those sparks stick around for a long time. And I don't exactly know how all the timing will work, but let's go ahead and apply that prefab. I don't worry too much about the naming of things. We don't really rely on the names of things. We just track the references down. Well, that was pretty sweet. Try it one more time. Yeah, you know what? It almost seems like that second one is so quiet, it's barely doing anything. So I think what I want to do is actually just use the burn sound that we made. Let's set this one to the pitch of 0.9. So maybe even 0.8. And then I will use the full on fire cast sound. Now this one's going to be really loud. So I want to make sure that in the animation, so we go up to a volume of 0.5. We want this one to also be volume of 0.5. Or something like that. And then we're going to go all the way to here and keep that volume 0.5. And then as it fades out, yeah, it'll fade out to 0. Okay, and the sounds should sound pretty significantly different because they have a different pitch. And that will change the timing and everything. Let's see how that sounds. I'll turn up my speakers so I can really hear it. Perfect. It's perfect. That's great. Couldn't be happier. Awesome. Well, I couldn't be happier with that. The only thing now is I need to figure out exactly what's going on with the fire potions. So in the developer settings, I will go to the starting items, and I'll just make sure, well, I'll just add all 3 of the potions in there. So let's go ahead and check out, and I will duplicate. And we'll start with 3 different fire potions. So fire art potion 1, fire art potion. Oh, there's only 2 fire art potions. So, and we'll have 10. Perfect. And now let's see if any particle actually spawns when we use the potion, or if anything happens at all. Okay, cool. So we've got, this one will be the red one, and we also have a pink one. I should use these for the festival. Oh. I didn't know that they could only be used at the festival. So I guess we should do the festival star settings. I'll delete that. And let me do the festival, Fall Festival, Sea Flower Festival, Starry Night Celebration. Oh man, we're getting so close. We're getting so close.
Happy Starry Night. Are you ready to go to the festival?
Oh, she should not be floating like that.
Welcome to the Starry Night celebration. There's lots to see and do here.
Okay.
If you collect.
I don't know how to get the fire potions actually. This festival needs a lot of work. It's also really dark. Give item fire art potion 1. Give 20 of them. Okay. Okay, so there is some kind of particle. Let's pause the game and see exactly what particle that is. It's called Fire Art 1. So we just need to replace that with something else. Maybe the pink one should be a heart. Nah, the pink one should be a spiral. So the fire art, here's the prefab. And I'm just wondering, well, let's see who's referencing the prefab. So let's find references in projects. Is being referenced by the item data. Okay, so somewhere in that item data is Fire Art Potion, or Art Potion 1. Somewhere in the item data is this prefab, and we just need to swap it out. Here it is. So we just want to Fire Potion effects. I also want to do like the use sound. Currently, there's no like pour sound or anything. There's a plop sound. Should be some kind of use sound. Effect settings. There's the craft sound. It's like, there definitely will be here. Consume. I don't know if it'll be, if it will do the consume clip necessarily, but we'll try. We'll type pour. This pour is 2.8 seconds. This pour is 2.3 seconds. I want to do the shorter, so it's pour 2. Fire Arts Potion. Let's do pour 2. And I also want her to do an interact animation, which I don't know if there's a slot for that. Let's just open up the item data and see. Cat head shape. That would be hard to animate. I guess we could do like a simple one. Could probably do it. Animation. Equipped animation, that's not what we want. Okay, so I think what we want to do, we've got a custom use function. Custom use function, and then I'm just going to take a look at who looks at that, because I don't remember where we're putting the custom use functions. custom, there's something called item use function. And then we just going to go into this. Okay. So let's go item use function. I'll just let Jenny do it. What am I doing? What am I doing? Why do I do this to myself? Okay. So we already know, let's fire art potion. Let's go to the potion number 2, check out. And again, I don't know if this consume clip will even work. We'll have to test it. And let's look. We got non-prefab effect is, non-effect prefab is fire art 2. Let's go fire potion effects. And then we'll do save project. I got so used to doing everything myself on eShade. I really sometimes think it's a curse that I can do everything. And I worked really hard to learn how to do everything, and I started doing everything on eShade. And I did everything for years, and then I really think it hurt our studio. It hurt our ability to make games, because I never became confident with delegating. And it really bottlenecked us, and I was too slow to hire people. And that is, to this day, my biggest regret is not hiring sooner and hiring more confidently and offering more money to get better people. I was just scared. Let's do fire art. Potion 120. Okay. Okay. That is really cool. That is really cool. It's going on top of her feet though, and I'm wondering why. And it looks really good in this environment too. Okay, let's pause it. Let me see why it's going on top of her feet. Oh, because it's just floating like 10 feet in the air. Why does it float 10 feet in the air? How high is it floating in the air? I don't know. Let's see. Let me go on the y-1. Okay, so it's floating exactly 1 meter in the air. So I'm pretty sure if we just do -1, we can't change the animations though. Didn't really think about that. Well, that's just a load of fun. Oh, come on now. Players are going to love that. That's really cool. The curse on competency. Yeah, maybe just the curse of spreading yourself too thin and not delegating and not being a confident manager and leader of people. Nani says, I have 2K words to write, so I told myself I could listen to stream as long as I am mostly writing. Kay says, don't be so hard on yourself. Sharing the responsibility is a skill. It certainly is. Working on a regular IT job and still struggle to delegate tasks to someone. Yeah. Yeah, and you know, I've gotten a little bit better at it now. Well, we hired someone who's really good, and she made it easier because I felt more confident with the delegating, and then pretty soon I started delegating everything, and now I barely ever code. So that's a good thing. My issue is when I'm working on something and there's something small to do, but it is code. I tend to think like, well, why? Come on now, you don't have to, make, make our programmer a Trello card and give her that. Like, you can do that. She's going to think you're an idiot if you do that. It's just like, come on, you couldn't do this yourself. It takes 5 minutes. But I have found that those 5 minutes add up, and they're usually not 5 minutes. It usually is a bit longer. And so now I just gotten better at just giving the card. Speaking of which, I should probably at least find the card. Oh, we have a lot of Trello items that I will take a look at. Oh, Jacqueline's drawn some fire pits. That's really exciting. Okay, add FX for fire potions. Perfect. Excellent. So now we have the card up, and the other thing I wanted to do is the item use functions. I just want to check where we're actually positioning that. Okay, so here we instantiate on the player position, and it's plus vector dot up. So I think if we just remove the vector dot up, then it will be on the ground, which is actually in this case what we want. So I will put that. That'll be perfect. I've also found the place now. This is fine. Let's just do audio manager dot play. The item stack dot item data dot use custom use function. Oh, no. Clip, the consume clip. And we'll play it. The source type will be UI. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Sparklewit says, give us programmers the cards. Okay, good. glad to hear it. Yeah, it is fun to check things off, isn't it? Even if it's easy and small, it's like, well, it had to be done and I did it, and you get to check it off, and you know you're all pulling in the same direction and making the game. And I have found that if it takes me 10 minutes to do myself and it takes me 5 minutes to make a card, that is another thing that I keep on thinking. It's like, you're going to spend 5 minutes making a card when you could do it yourself in 10 minutes. But the thing is that I have found that if I just make the card, then I save myself a significant amount of time, and all that stuff adds up. And the thing is, you'll never be able to expand if you always think like that, because then you're always taking more and more onto yourself. And at a certain point, you just need to admit that, yes, it's less efficient to delegate in terms of person hours, but you have a limited amount of person hours. And if you ever want to create bigger games that are beyond the limit of your own person hours that you have on this earth, and hours in the day, and with needing to sleep and all that, then you need to learn how to reduce your person hours, even if it's slightly less efficient. The delegation, there's some inefficiency there. You just have to do it in order to make bigger stuff beyond the scope of what one person can make, or two people, or in our case, we have 3 people, and maybe we're going to grow a little after we ship Glimmerwick, and I'll need to delegate even more. Kate says, wow, you're using Trello for logging tickets, tasks. Are you satisfied? Yeah, I mean, we use it not even in the way that Trello is designed. So like, this is for Danny, for Jenny, and for Jacqueline. And these are our personal lists. And we just put the cards in the lists, and mostly we just need a spot to, discuss particular cards, but I would say it's worked very well for us, but we use it in the simplest way imaginable. We don't use even 20% of the features that Trello has, and Trello is not particularly robust, so we keep it pretty simple. Sparkowitz says, I've been in work situations where I was insecure that I wasn't contributing at anything, so even busy work cards are nice. Ah, I see. Well, that's an interesting perspective. So just feeling like you have stuff to do is motivating. I can appreciate that. Yeah. Hopefully, I don't think anyone at Eastshade Studios has ever felt like that yet. But if we got into a bigger company situation, then I'm sure we'd have to make sure that everyone's plate was always full. Now, Nani says Trello is so great because it's really simple and you don't need the fancy stuff to make it work. Yeah, Trello is very simple and I kind of like it. Use it simply too. Nice, a fellow Trello truther. So that should put the thing on the ground. We need to make a second. We need to make a second fire effect. So let's do that. Actually, I'm going to be right back. All right, we are flying. We are flying. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Can't contain my excitement. Getting these fire effects. This is like, dude, we are like, my God. Antoine's Arc, we're right there. We already have the music out to a singer who's going to do the vocals for it. And then we're going to get that. We already have the animations out as well. All that's going to come back. We just need to put it all together. This one is not going to be too hard. Just need to project some little sprites for an interior. Maybe we'll get to that today. Amka's Arc is already in Jenny's hands. She's implementing all of the different parts. I've already done all the art and projections. Jacqueline has already drawn everything. All it's already polished. It's already done. And now, Pack Critter Raft. I did that this morning while my baby was sleeping. Winterfest Polish. We haven't done that yet. Fire Effects. We're about to complete, and it looks so good. And that's it. That's it, baby. And then, closed beta. We're going to be sending out the closed beta. People will play the whole game, hopefully all the way through, and they won't get stuck. Okay, let me catch up with chat. There's usually, small enough in here to where I can read every message. So I try to read every message. Actually, it's kind of disorienting when the chat gets big enough where I can't read every message. I don't know how many to read. Kate, they don't let you use Trello at work. Yeah, I just found out that Trello has a really simple feature that you can hook it up to an email address. And whenever the email address gets an email, it automatically makes a Trello card and attaches all the attachments to the Trello card, which is very helpful because we have an email address for bugs. So now we have a bug Trello board. I keep it separate because I don't want the random junk coming into our official work Trello. But I have one that gets all of the bugs we get from all of our players into Trello cards, which just makes it really easy for the team, just Jenny and Jacqueline and myself, to just like have conversations about individual bug reports. Mostly that's what we need it for. We just want to be able to have conversations on a particular, basically on a particular email, on a particular bug report. It was very helpful. Now, Nani says, it's so funny when prospective employers ask me about project management and I'm like, just Trello. Yeah, I don't know what it's like for bigger projects. I mean, our projects are big, but we don't have a lot of people. I don't know if it gets crazy. Yeah, that's right. We've got singing. We've got some live music, some live songs. Yeah, if you're in the first people we'll go to is the demo beta testers. Nani, I think that you were part, if I'm remembering correctly. But if you're not already, you can let me know and I can definitely give you the application form. I'll hook you up. But I thought you were already were in the closed beta for the demo. And then we're going to do it in waves probably. We're not going to send them all out at once. It's not as useful for us. We're probably going to do like batches of 10 people. So we'll send out 10 beta keys for the full game and then give those people like probably a week or two and get all the bugs from them and not fix it. We won't have time to fix them all. We'll just try to prioritize the most important ones and then do the next batch and then do the next batch. And then that way that we can have different sort of cohorts of beta testers playing through the game in progressively more polished builds. Otherwise, we sick them all out at once. We get a bunch of bugs, but a bunch of people are reporting the same bugs that other people ran into, and it's not quite as efficient. So that does mean that some people will not be able to play the beta right away. They'll have to wait until their wave or whatever. Senjuni, hello, welcome. Kate says, for the closed beta, do you engage pro QA support? Or is this just a narrow group of players to test with? So we so far have not hired any QA, but every day I think about it. Every day I think about now's the time, and I've been thinking about it for a long time, I want to hire a couple professional QA testers. I don't know, and I'm pouring my thoughts to you guys. I don't know if I should go with a firm or if I should just get a couple people. I feel like I should just get a couple people because I've had some experiences with the firms where, first of all, you pay more because there's an overhead and you have to pay for the management and stuff. And second of all, sometimes it's just annoying talking to the firm when the person who is doing the actual work, sometimes it just feels like, never mind you, I don't want to talk to you, the manager or whatever. I just want to talk to the person doing the work. So I'm thinking a couple pro QA, just so we don't want to ask too much of the volunteer testers, because it's like, it's volunteer, it should be fun, so we want them to just play the game normally and report bugs as they see them. We're not going to ask them to go try to like make repros for us and like test a bunch of stuff like, oh, this bug hit you on day 43, well, can you please try to give us a save that is a perfect repro and like test that over and over and try to figure out exactly how, like that kind of stuff. That's something we would want to pay people for. And then also with like recording the entire playthrough, every single second of the playthrough, recording the entire thing, it's kind of annoying to ask a volunteer to do that. So another issue I have is what will the volunteers think if we're paying some QA people? Then will the volunteers be like, hey, so I don't really know how to handle that. I mean, we would expect a different level of commitment and work from the paid ones. And we really try, we don't like, sometimes the volunteers, they'll ask us, do you want me to test anything in particular? And from my perspective, it's like, no, I don't want to ask you to do that. That's beyond what I think a volunteer beta tester should have to do. A volunteer beta tester, to me, is someone who likes your game and already wants to play your game and is already like, would already want to play your game regardless. And you give them a reasonably playable version of your game that maybe is just a little bit buggier than the release version, so they have to suffer through some bugs, but by and large, they should still be having fun playing the game and then they're able to give you feedback. A volunteer beta tester is not someone who should have to, write extremely detailed bug reports or go out, testing the same thing over and over to try to get a repro. That to me is work and it should be paid. Sparkowitz says, I'm a big Kanban agile guy, even on my solo dev project. Gotcha. Yeah, we don't use the Kanban aspect of Trello even. We literally just use it to make lists of cards for people. We don't even move. When the card is done, we move it to just a done list. There's no like testing list or anything like that. Oh, definitely not. Oh, you weren't part of the demo. Okay, let me get the tribe. If you want to, if you want your first playtest to be precious and without bugs, then by all means you don't have to join the beta. Don't join the beta, I would say. Just wait till the game comes out. But if you like to do to be in there on beta, some people enjoy being part of closed betas because they like to give feedback and they like to play early versions of the game and stuff. Oh my God, we have way more closed beta. I didn't know we had so many. Somehow people are finding this. It's basically a secret form. Like we don't advertise it. Gosh, it's literally just word of mouth. That's crazy. Okay. Let me just make sure I'm giving you the right form here. Yeah, it should be this one. Okay, so this is the link to the closed beta. If you like being in closed betas, if you like playing rough versions of the game, we have a closed beta for Glimmerwick. There's no guarantees that I will take you, because we already have like over 100 applications in there, and we don't necessarily need over 100 people beta testing. But let's see what fields are in there for Hey Non Nani. If you have, let's see, email address. Yeah, if you put like, if it like, how to mention in one of these fields Non Nani that you are Non Nani, and I'll make sure you get in there. Let's see. Oh, that's cool, Sparkowitz. Yeah, I'm always kind of curious about what kind of person the YouTube algorithm thinks that my videos are for. Okay, so let's make a second potion. So let's do fire effects. And I do, for anyone doing the closed beta form, I do ask for email. Some people like to put they'll put like no thanks in the email form, and it's like, or they won't want to give me their name or something. I am not going to send our game pre-release, the full version of our game. I'm not going to send that to someone who is not willing to give me their name. It's just, there's a reason why I asked for your legal name. It's because I want to know who you are, because we are sending you our freaking game, and I do ask people sign a little NDA. It's very simple NDA, but just, I find that just people who are willing to give me their name and email address are a sort of, there's sort of a different different like caliber of you know, of candidate. It's funny though that people are like offended. They're like, "What, you want my name and email? No thanks. Like, I'm not going to give my email on the internet." It's like, okay, well, I'm not going to send you my freaking I'm not going to send you my game then. Oh, 1 second, folks. Sorry. Actually have that on the even the public feedback form for the demo. I ask for people's emails, and a lot of people don't want to give their email there. The reason I do that is because I find the quality of feedback is much higher from people who are willing to give their emails. There was a person who just put horrible things in all the fields. They just like, this game is complete dog shit, what were you think, whatever, you know, just standard. They really hated it. And then they were a coward and they wouldn't put their email. It's like, it wasn't trolling. Like they legitimately played the game and they legitimately hated it. And they legitimately wanted to tell me about why they hated it, but they were too cowardly to put their, like, stand behind your opinion. Like, you're allowed to have an opinion and you're allowed to hate our game. Why are you ashamed to hate our game? It was really strange. Maybe they were just ashamed of their tone, really. I mean, I can't think of why they would why they wouldn't stand behind their words. They didn't want me to know who they were. Lupercal says, how does a closed beta work? That's just when you have an application form and you only send out the beta to, you send out Steam pre-release Steam keys usually to just you know, a certain group of people, whether it's 5 people or 20 people or 50 people. It's kind of up to you how many people you think you can handle. And of course, how many people you're able to get, because it's actually kind of hard to recruit people who are willing to play a closed beta. Your game needs to be of a certain scale and sort of appeal as well. Kate says, an interesting yet professional view on what you can't require from volunteer testers. Oh, well, thank you. Well, that's very flattering. Well, that's very kind. Oh, shucks. Well, thank you. Okay, awesome. Well, the demo's already out, so we're past the demo. At this point, we're only full game testing. Lupercal says, "Do you have more coming up?" Yeah, we have not run our closed beta for the full game yet. So just that application form. If you want to apply there, we have a lot of applications right now, and I think about half of them I've only used. So no guarantees we'll get to everyone. But if you mention somewhere in the form that you're Lupercal, I'll try to make sure you get in there. All right. Thanks, Nanani. Okay, so let's do another fire potion. I'm going to completely version off this entire prefab. And I'm going to put it in the world. And the first thing I'm going to do is change the color. Because so now we're going on to the pink. The pink potion. So it's going to be mostly the same stuff, except now we've got, first of all, I'm going to change all of the colors of everything. So this is color over lifetime. So I'm going to play the animation. And the color is going to be like the bottle. We'll start with like, I guess we'll start with like this very pink / violet color. And maybe, yeah, maybe it'll go sort of red in the end. Maybe this looks cool. I think that looks pretty cool. And then let's check the fire. So there's color over lifetime on the fire as well. And it goes very dark at the end, and we just want it to go very pink at the end. And right here, I just want it to have that really light pink. And we might have to do a different material. So let's go fire, potion, fire. We'll do fire, potion, fire 2. Okay, let's do fire, potion, fire 2. And then that one is going to have a pink look to it. And we also want that puddle to be pink. So let's take the puddle and version off that material as well. Fire potion puddle 2. And then we'll go with the pink. And then we'll grab the puddle and we'll make sure fire potion puddle 2. Okay. It is very pink. Maybe it's too pink. Yeah, that seems a little bit better. The sound is not going to change. The sparks should have a different color. And we'll take a look at the trails. Maybe we can leave them fire colored. Let's see. Can barely even see those sparks. They just look white. No, they should be purple like everything else. Okay, or pink or whatever. Start kind of pink, and then we'll go very red by the end. And same thing with this one. We'll start very pink. and then go very red by the end. So here we go. Cool. Yeah, that looks good. Although for whatever reason, the fire is very bright. Seems like it'll be, maybe we have to push it a little in the pink direction to get it to sort of match a little bit better. I want it to match that line tracer a little bit better. For whatever reason, it's not seeming to blend in quite as well. Huh. I wonder why it doesn't work quite as well. Well, that's fine. Okay, so the other thing is the shape, of course, is going to be different. I want this one to be a spiral. And to make it a spiral, I'm going to first of all apply all. And I'm going to get in there. And I have an idea for how to really easily make a spiral, and it starts with making a different animation. So fire potion heart is going to be fire potion spiral. Kate says, if I see that same puddle sprite in game post release, I'm going to scream I was there. Oh, that's fun. Yeah, some people tell me, like with Eastshade, that having watched the streams made them enjoy Eastshade more because they remembered it being made, and it was cool to see like the parts that they saw, you know, how they came together, which is cool. So for the spiral, instead of the ball position being animated, I'm actually just going to completely delete the ball position keys. I'm going to delete all the ball position keys. Oh, whoops. Oh, that would have been bad. We got to make sure to actually swap out the animation here. Oh boy. Okay, there we go. Now let's get rid of the keys. So here we're on the spiral. Let's delete all these position keys. Very nice. So now we have not a single key on the ball, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new object, and I'm going to call this the spiral center. And I'm going to move it up 2 meter spiral. Yeah. I'll move it even up a little bit more. I'll move it 1.1. And then I'm just going to parent the ball. I'm going to make it a child of the spiral center. And then I'm going to key the rotation. That's just going to be so much easier to make a spiral for us. So by the end here, and I will also scale down. And as I'm scaling it, the spiral will be moving closer and closer to the center. So here's the very end. I think right here. And so by that moment, we will want the spiral to have rotated. I don't know. Negative 1080. That will just be, you know, like 3 rotations. And then I'll also be scaling it down as we're going to like 0.1. And since the particle is world space, it shouldn't change the size. Oops. I wasn't animating. I'm an idiot. 111. Okay, let's change the animation. So on the first frame, well, the puddle comes in, and now we want to key the scale and the rotation. And then by the end, here, we'll want this thing to have rotated 1080, and we'll want it to be tiny. There we go. So I'll save this. Yep, that's exactly what we want. Let's save that. I don't know. I don't know how I could be so dumb. Oh yeah, that's working great. It looks a little small. I don't know why it's not like showing us the particle effect here. Come on, let's go. Get with the program. Restart. Okay, there we go. And now, no, it's not showing us. Maybe I have to have it selected. Oops, I went into play mode. Well, I guess we'll see what it looks like in play mode. A little early for that, but. Oh, no, we can't because we had the wrong start settings. So let's get out of play mode. And then I'll get the developer start settings. And what I really just wanted is to click on the ball and then hit play. God dang it, why? It's just not. Just play the animation. Oh, there it goes, there it goes. Okay, cool. Oh, that worked really, really, really well. Couldn't be more pleased with that. Oh, that's freaking awesome. I think it should be a little bit bigger. And the great part is that it's so easy to change the size of the spiral. I am very happy with how that worked out. That was, if I do say so myself, a little bit freaking genius. Just a little bit. Just a little. I don't want to toot my own horn too much, but it was just a little bit genius, because that is that would have been such a nightmare if I was trying to key. I'm going to do 1.4. Okay, so now it should be a little bit bigger. And just like that, we've changed. Oh, I do need to change that first keyframe. So the spiral center does need to start out at, like, let's say 1.4 scale. I wish we could see it, like. Oh, there we go. Okay. Look at that. Okay, the sparks are quite yellow, if I do say so myself. Let's make it even a little bit bigger. I think will be sweet. So the spiral center. Oh, this ball is at negative 1.1. I think that's correct. Yeah, let's raise it up even more. 1.6, and then let's go 1.5, 1.5, 1.5, and then let's turn on keyframe mode, and let's go 1.5, 1.5, 1.5, and then yes. The only thing, I just need to make sure that we don't have anything in hierarchy mode. That all should be, oh, it's scale. Oh, delta time is scaled. Scaling mode is local. This is our problem. Scaling mode should be world. Can we not do that? Delta time is scaled. What about, I don't want it to be in the hierarchy. I'm scared. Yeah, it seems bigger than it should be. That's for sure. Doesn't seem right. Shape? Scaling mode is shape? I don't know. No, it still seems pretty big. Okay, well, I guess I'll keep it local. I don't know how this is really working, but I guess I will start with start size. I'll just have to scale it down a little because I don't really understand how this is working. And then the fire, I suppose for the fire, the start size will have to be smaller as well. I don't know. I don't know if I want to touch it. The sparks look positively massive, and they're all the wrong color. Trails. Why are the sparks the wrong color? Who is giving them their color? Yeah, I mean, tons of them are just completely yellow. Sparks left behind. I literally left them yellow. What a noob. And then we have the trails, and then we have the wrong. Okay, let's copy this, paste this. There we go. Okay, now we should actually see what this looks like. There we go with the purple sparks. Okay. Now the sparks look way too big. And they're definitely scaling down while this thing gets smaller. So I don't really know how to stop that. Simulation space is world. The scaling mode, let's try shape. That seems to be doing the trick. Yeah, so it seems like shape is doing the trick maybe. We'll just have to see. I don't know. We'll just have to see. Okay. Lupercal says, which dev thing would you say you have improved the most at? Oh, which dev thing would I improved the most at? Gosh. I don't know. I'm a little bit better at everything. Production, maybe? Just like general projects. No, I don't even know if I've improved. Delegation. It has to be delegation. That has to be the biggest. Because I was at 0 before, so it wasn't hard to improve it. So I would say I've improved the most at like management and delegation. And that is not saying that I'm good at it, because I'm not. Okay, let's see if it actually looks good. Yeah. It looks dope. It looks dope as hell. It's tiny though. It really looks tiny. I want it to be way bigger. It's like it needs to start it needs to start like 2 meters in the air and have a really big circle. Corator says, did I hear 40-person team? 40-person AA team? What are you saying? No, Nani says, looks like I hope the game gives me 50 to play with. All right. So I just need to put this like at 2.2, and I need the scale to be way more. Let's go full on 1.6. All right, and then we need to go to the animation and look at the scale. The scale of the spiral. It's already 1.5. What am I doing wrong here? What am I doing wrong? Because where's the ball? The ball is right at the bottom. Like it really, it's right at the bottom. So, I mean, how high in the air does the spiral have to be? The spiral center, you would think that would be enough. .6? And then now the ball should be not quite. Yeah, now the ball is not quite at the bottom when it starts. So making this 1.7. It's 2.6 in the air. Actually 1.8. We can make it 1.8. Okay, so let's go into animate mode and let's start it at 1.8. And then we'll copy the scale and then paste it right here. No. Spiral 1.8. Oh, look at that. Maybe this is why it wasn't getting any bigger. Okay, now it's actually 1.8. And look, I can see the particles getting smaller. So let me change that ball to shape. And let me change, oopsies. I don't think we can animate that, so it didn't make an issue. But let's change that to shape, and let's change the fire to shape. And sparks left behind is already shape, and first sparks will be shape. Emitter velocity. There's no rigid body here. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Okay, and let's save that. And let's see how that looks. Okay, that should be a very big spiral. Very, very big. I expect it to be a massive spiral. The spiral is at 1.6. Didn't I change it to 1.8? Okay, it is 1.8 in the animation, so that's all that really matters. Oh, my person management. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, I gotcha. Okay, so that looked bad because the fires were too big. So the fires are in shape. They just look way too big. What if I changed the scaling mode to local? Would that make them look better? Yeah, I guess. There's not enough like fade going on, I feel like, in the fire's age. Okay, but so first of all, that's the first order business. We definitely want to change it back to scaled. But somehow the color over lifetime just does not have enough pizzazz. Let's try this. I just want a little bit more dynamicness. It's not doing anything. Let me take some of the color out. Somehow that color over lifetime. Let's change it to pure red. I just can't really get the fire to do much. Something will make this fire look better, but I don't know what it is. Definitely change the fire to white. And then the color, it's already pure white. I don't know what all this gray stuff is doing here. I think this is alpha. Let's get rid of that. Now let's get rid of this at the end as well. And I'll make it a little bit more white and then a little bit more bright red. We'll put this white at the beginning. Let's try this. It pretty much just looks the same. It's just not fading. There's just not a lot of dynamism in it, which I can't really figure out why that color over lifetime is not having that much effect. Let's make it green. If we made it green, then what would happen? I just want to get some feedback of what's actually going on here. Okay, it really never turns green, which tells me that something is a funk. Something is not working about this color over lifetime. Is it because we're not getting far enough into the, like, is it being cut off or something? Let's see. I made it turn green way earlier, so let's try it again. Okay, so now it's turning, so the color is broken, and I don't exactly know why. I've had this issue before, where it just, the color is doing strange things, and it's very unfortunate. The render queue is 3000. Yeah, it's like when I make it green. I'm worried though that at some point it is going to actually turn this color and it's going to look really bad. So I don't really know what to do about that. That looks pretty okay though. The heart one looks much better to me. Maybe what we can do is fade it. Maybe that would be necessary for this one. So I'll turn the alpha to 0 and let's try that. Didn't really seem to make too much of a difference. I'll change the time of day. Okay, let's change that color more to the red, and I'll delay it as well. I'll put it at the end. And since that alpha is doing literally nothing, I will just remove that. It's okay. And the line tracers aren't really working. I don't know. There's all kinds of weird things about this. For whatever reason, the line tracers are not working until the very end there. Oh, you know what? I bet it's because the line tracers are scaling. They're like scaling out. Let's see. There's got to be some kind of world space. Oh, there, it's already checked. So that can't be it. Trails, they already say world space. Well, that was my big guess, so I don't really know what's going on there. Oh, maybe because they're attached to the fire and the fires. I bet that that's it. So let's change the fire to unscaled and then give it another whirl. No, that didn't really fix the issue. But I do like how that looks, more or less. Maybe just the fire a little bit smaller. Between 0.45 and 0.7. What if I turned the opacity of the fire to half? I don't even know if that did anything, but that's enough messing around. Let me just copy this gradient to make sure we actually get it. Yeah, I can't tell. I can't tell really what's changing it anymore. But it looks okay. I like the heart one better, but hopefully this one will do. And I just don't want to spend too much time on it. I mean, I do. I want it to look even better. I know it could look better, but I'll change the alpha just like we had it. I'll leave it scaled. I know we changed this a little bit smaller as well. And then the color over lifetime. Paste. There we go. Okay. And that's that. Okay, well, I think I'm going to call that a stream. Yeah, I want to thank everyone for hanging out with me. The Moobot had perfect timing there. If you're new to the stream, please go check out our game. It's called Songs of Glimmerwick. It's a Witch Academy RPG where the magic of the world is music. And it has a demo, and you can play it right now. And people really like it, and I think you'll really like it too. And once you play the demo, you see if it's your kind of game, or if you are dying to play the full one after the demo's complete, as so many people are. And then maybe give it a wish list and buy it when it comes out. That would mean the world to me and my team. Thanks so much for everyone for hanging out with me while we work on these cool fire effects. I had so much fun today. Exciting stuff. Moving right along. Closed beta coming up. And hopefully I'll catch some of y'all next time. All right, peace out, guys.